Welcome to the Riddle and Riddle Friday Night Rivals presented by the University of North Carolina. This is Rams country. Rolesville High School, last year's state runner-up. Tonight, undeniably, the biggest game across the state is the state's newest, biggest classification in 8A. It is the Rolesville Rams taking on the unbeaten Millbrook Wildcats. Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Rivals. Patrick Keenis alongside Jay Sonhalter. And Jay, fierce rivals in 4A, fiercer rivals in 8A. We're going to see some of the best college prospects across the state and some of the biggest college coaches across the country here tonight for this ball game.
Yeah, this is the biggest game of the state because of the caliber of players and the excellent coaches and the expectations for both teams. They expect to win a state championship, but this is conference play. They know what's on the line. If you get a win tonight, everything sets up for your future. All
right, let's get to our stars and our keys, brought to you by Central Carolina Chevy Dealers. Jay, what are we looking at tonight?
Well, for Milbrook, it starts on the ground with Bryleson McCullers. He is outstanding running in between the tackles. Now, he has top-end speed getting to the outside, and they really want to establish the ground game tonight with McCullers to open up the play-action pass. But when they give him touches, that's when they have their most success on offense. Over on the other side for Rolesville, Marquise Bryant is one of the best in the country on the back end. He's got offers from ACC, SEC, Big Ten, literally everyone. And he's an enforcer on the back end. He's got the skills to intercept passes, and he'll come up and run support and be very physical. He's one of the leaders on this Rolesville team.
All right, let's now talk about some keys to the game tonight. Jay, what are you looking for tonight?
For the Wildcats, it all starts with their running game. Again, McCullers feeding him the ball and then getting a pass rush, trying to slow down the Rams' passing attack. For the Rams, explosive plays, that's something they excel in, is hitting those big plays, especially through the air, and then playing fast and physical, turning this into a track meet and playing up-tempo.
There are your stars and your keys, Central Carolina Chevy Dealers. Visit your local dealer today. Now, the third member of our broadcast crew, Madison Little. We're going to see an aerial attack tonight, but two head coaches with a running back in their veins. Madison.
Well, guys, we have two stacked rosters tonight, but what jumps off the page are those running backs. For Milbrook, you have Bryleson McCullers. He's a three-time 1,000-yard rusher with really good instincts. And Amir Brown for Rolesville, well, he's already committed to UNC, and he's just a great player that's able to stay even-keeled no matter the amount of attention he gets. And something interesting, guys, both of these head coaches themselves are former running backs. They know how to excel at that position, and their fingerprints are all over these offenses. With that, both of these teams are very capable of and will throw the football, but we can expect the run game to be a big factor, especially as we see rainfall start to fall throughout tonight. And it all starts when we come back right here on Friday Night Rivals.
Well, there's a beautiful look at the campus of Rolesville High School in Rolesville, North Carolina, where we are going to be blessed with the high school game of the week across the entire state of North Carolina. Unbeaten Millbrook against last year's 4A runner-up Rolesville Rams. Hello once again, everybody. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sonhalter. Madison Little is down on the sideline. And boy, Jay, let's put this game in perspective. These teams have been fierce rivals for years. They're now up to the 8A class, and they are loaded with talent tonight.
In state championship aspirations, to the top teams in the state and the East. And so many of these guys know each other, and they expect in this ball game to face top competition. This game's going to go down to the wire. They know what's on the line here tonight.
All right, there's the Milbrook on the left side of your screen in the white jerseys, the light blue pants, and Rolesville in the deep black with the red numbers, ready for the Legacy Construction and Roofing kickoff. Legacy Construction and Roofing, always here when you need us. And here we go. There was a dust-up as the teams were loosening up on the field about an hour before kickoff, so they are feisty, they are ready, and they know what's at stake.
Both teams met at the 50-yard line, and motivated, anticipation, and the competitive fire. And Rainier Rackley and Lamar Marshall's teams, these guys are ready to go.
Did they really meet at the 50-yard line? It's more of a breach on both sides.
There's crossed over a little bit.
All right, so here we go. Rolesville will go on offense. They're 2-2, 1-0 in conference play. Easy win over Corinth Holders last week, 53-0. Millbrook coasted past Athens Drive-In, its opener last week. Under center, Caleb Williams, the transfer from Holly Springs. He's the quarterback for the Rams, and he will look to throw on the first play from a scrimmage, flushed out, and tosses into the sideline. Got shoved to his backside. A nice welcome on the first pass play by the Millbrook defense.
The pass rush from Millbrook is excellent, and they're going to try to slow down this offense for Rolesville. That's very explosive. Starts with Williams, Brown running ball, Roberts, Martin, Waddell, and Evans out of the wide receiver and tight end. Then up front, Pulley, Brownson, Overton, King, and White are all big and athletic up front.
All right, that's the Riddle and Riddle starting lineup for the Rolesville offense. Riddle and Riddle when justice counts. All right, let's talk about the Rams offense, what we are likely to see tonight, Jay. So far, Williams in the first 4 games of the year thrown for over 1,000 yards, but what does the offense for the Rams look like when it's going well?
Well, he's got a strong arm. I think they want to set up the ground game with Amir Brown, and then it opens up the passing game with those wide receivers, with Waddell and with Roberts on the outside.
Yeah, Waddell leads the team 34 catches. He's in uniform number 18. This is 2nd and 10 for the Rolesville Rams. Crowd still filing in. A little motion on the line, a little shoving on the line as well. And there's the 35th year referee, Eddie Pendergrass, will be running the show on the field tonight.
And the Milbrook defense is so fast, and they are big up front. And there's Quentin Cipher, number 2, their star linebacker. But this front 7, very physical. Then on the back end, it's like a wall back there. They do not give up the big play. So this will be a fun matchup with the Rolesville offense going against this Wildcats defense.
A 5-yard procedure penalty against the Rams. So 2nd down and 15 as we get things underway. Actually, it's back at 1st down, back at the 15-yard line. And Campbell, quick pass to the left side with a couple of blockers, but congested quickly, and that's where we will see the defense for the Millbrook Wildcats. Rajon Bynum, the cornerback, up for the tackle.
And this defense flies around to the football, and Wilbert, St. Clair, Streets, the top junior in the state at defensive end, then Sizer, Tripp, Cipher, and Adams are the linebackers that are athletic. Bynum, Caldwell, Williams, Graffam. That's that back line that keeps everything in front.
That's the starting lineup presented by Riddle and Riddle for the Millbrook defense. That is going to be really the central theme for the Wildcats to come on the road and win here tonight. It'll be 3rd down coming up and about 8 yards to go here for the Rams in the first possession of the game.
Gavin Waddell, number 18, one of those stars on the outside. He's committed to Louisville, and the game plan for Rolesville is try to get him the ball as much as possible in different areas, whether it's on carries or deep passes over the middle.
Waddell, top of your screen on 3rd and a long 7. Williams looking left the entire way. Dangerous pass brought down and out near midfield. That'll be enough for a 1st down. A dangerous pass, but brought in on the fingertip catch by Anthony Roberts out to near midfield.
Roberts, he's a star junior, big-time college prospect, and you see the talent there, just goes up and gets it, and then the yards after the catch. That's a one-on-one ball. Who wants it more? Roberts goes up with his length and brings it in. That's a big 1st down for this Rams offense.
And our first Air Experts 1st down. Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Schedule your tune-up today at airexperts.com. Out near midfield, 1st down for the Rams. And they deploy Brown out to the right, low snap, collected by the quarterback, and Williams will nose it into Wildcat territory and a pickup of about 5.
And for Caleb Williams, he's got to mix in that running ability. He is athletic, and he can pick his spots in the running game. Just another weapon in the backfield, and eluding that pressure as well as those quarterback-designed runs. That's an option with this offense.
Now, Jay, Caleb's first year within the Rolesville program. We're in week 5 now. How far along do you think he is as far as the offensive playbook? 2nd down, Williams swings it out. Has Henry Evans. And Evans inside the 40, and that will be good enough for a 1st down. However, penalty marker is down. First down yardage if it holds. And speaking of holding, goes against the Rams. And they'll mark the Rams back at the 43-yard line.
Rainier Rackley has done an outstanding job here at Rolesville building this program. State championship contenders every single year.
The former running back at Elizabeth City State, as Madison told you at the outset. 3rd year, he's 28-6 here for the Rams. He really saw this as a diamond in the rough when he was promoted to head coach. They swing it to the right side, tiptoeing the sideline, and back inside Wildcat territory down to about the 43-yard line. And there's the first reception for Gavin Waddell.
And Williams gets rid of this ball quickly as the Milbrook pass rush is falling into his lap. Good job recognizing, getting rid of it. Waddell runs a clean route, and now it sets up in 3rd and short.
Well, an excellent balance by Waddell. Picked up another 5 or 6 yards by maintaining the balance on that right sideline.
He's such a good route runner, gets in and out of his breaks so quick.
3rd and 2 for the Rams, first possession of the game. And a lot of motion again on that line. We've seen 2 penalties already on this initial drive. And this will go against the Rams as well. False start. 3 penalties on Rolesville on this first drive.
Well, and the challenge for the Rollesville offensive line is going against this front 4 for the Wildcats. That's one of the best in the state, and that's, I think, why you're seeing some of these penalties right now is you're trying to get off the blocks quickly, and now it sets up a 3rd and 7. Was 3rd and 2, moves you back a little bit. You've got to protect Williams here in this spot.
Yeah, this part of the field still likely 4-down territory, contingent on the outcome of this play. A lot of pressure coming, and Williams gets swarmed and taken down. First sack of the night by Milbrook. And it comes from Marquez Wilbert, number 33. He had some company.
Wilbert, 6'1", 275, just wins with speed. A swim move, gets underneath the tackle. And there's that quickness. And that's what this pass rush does to opponents. It gets back there and just creates havoc and really causes a disruption in the passing game.
Well, what did I say about 4-down territory? Not anymore, as the Rams will now boot it away. Riley Daniels, senior punter, stands back with his heels in the 31-yard line. So Rolesville holds the football for about 3.5 minutes, but gives it up here. Short punt, gets a Rams bounce, and evacuating. And this ball will roll down dead right around the 11-yard line. So we're underway. It's the game of the week across the state. Unbeaten Millbrook and last year's state runner-up in 4A, the Rolesville Rams, scoreless after 1 possession. There's a look inside the sideline of the Millbrook Wildcats, who lost in the 3rd round last year in the postseason to Hogger. In 22, they made the regional final, which is the deepest run the Wildcats have ever had. But you've seen them kind of mature over the first 4 weeks of this season. They're loaded. They feel like this might be their year to head to uncharted territory in the postseason.
They're stacked, so much talent. Lamar Marshall, leading his team, has put together a group that's solid in all 3 phases, and that momentum and confidence that they've built through these first 4 games has led them to this point.
Bryson Gray, the quarterback, clap of the hands. They're deep in their own territory, and a safe handoff on the first play picks up just a couple of yards as we get to the Riddle and Riddle starting lineups for the Millbrook offense, brought to you by Riddle and Riddle, when justice counts.
This is an explosive group. It starts with Gray throwing the ball. McCullers, great on the ground. Martin Thomas, Gilchrist, excellent on the outside. Bronner, 6'7" tight end. Then Avery James, Nazario, Ramsey, and Shitty are big up front, and they're a group that can get to the second level.
Pickup of about 3 yards on first down. So Gray, the junior quarterback, again, Wade Gibb. Initial contact, and look at that windmill tackle back inside the original line of scrimmage. And we talked about the defense of Millbrook. There's some outstanding defensive players here for the Rolesville Rams as well.
Xavion Griffin Haynes, number 9 up front. He's committed to North Carolina. That penetration, the explosiveness up front stands out. And along with him, Preston Jr., Colson, Brody, another big-time DN, Avery Fleet, Campbell, and the rest of that group is a group that sideline to sideline speed, and they fly to the ball.
The Riddle starting lineups for that Rolesville defense. When justice counts, Rolesville fans already making some noise on 3rd and 8 for the Wildcats deep in Milbrook's own territory. Sprint out Gray. There's nobody home on the right side. And this will be a very impressive 3 and out by the Rams defense.
And the defensive line for Millbrook did great on that first drive, and here it's the Rams D-line and linebackers bringing the A-gap blitz. And Gray very wisely just gets rid of it, sees that pass rush coming up the middle, gets outside the pocket, and good job with the timing of that blitz, causing disruption by Avery Fleet.
That was Avery Fleet, so now Millbrook will kick it away. Ethan Luberecki, number 88, will punt it right from the top of his own end zone. So it should be excellent field position here for the Rolesville Rams. As much as we expect points to be scored here, field position and really the special teams play, to me, will be central to the winner here tonight. And this is a booming high kick They will land around the 40, take a Millbrook bounce, and quickly spin into the sideline on the Rolesville side of the field. And that's about the best you can hope for in that situation. So flips the field 50 yards, and Rolesville will start, looks like just inside Milbrook territory at the 49.
And Rolesville did a good job on that first drive, moving the ball. It was just the penalties that set them back. So here coming out for the second drive. Focus on that area, make sure they play clean here.
There's a look at Caleb Williams. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards so far, rushed for about 150, but 70% completion percentage so far this year. But again, he has an outstanding core of wide receivers. Inside handle, they keep it inside the tackles for a couple of yards. That's Amir Brown. He's their top rusher, but again, they don't run the ball a whole lot. But he'll get some carries at least to kind of loosen up the front seven.
He's committed to UNC and number 2 over on Milbrook as SEC offers. Quentin Cipher coming up, making the stick, and watch him on defense, the way they move him around right in the middle of that defense, but he is so aggressive getting in the backfield.
Now Williams again will hand off to Brown. A little more space this time going outside the tackles. Brings up third and about 4.
Now it's Cipher again on the play, and those two just tracking each other, meeting again. And Amir Brown, physical, running in between the tackles. And very shifty as well, really reads his blocks. But that's going to be the challenge, is going against Cipher in the middle and then Rashad Street's number 22 on the edge for the Wildcats.
A little more than halfway through the opening quarter. Third and short here for the Rams. They need the 39. Williams, one more run, and Brown stacked up short. Now you would assume it is going to be 4 down territory, but again, the front 4, front 7 for the Wildcat defense, they have been right in the jersey so far of Amir Brown on these 3 carries. And we'll see what Rainier Rackley wants to dial up here on 4th and short.
Rainier Rackley with that mindset, belief in his team. You know they're going to stay out here and try to punish this defense to pick up the first down.
A couple of hard counts by Williams. A look at the sideline. Still plenty on the play clock. Fourth and 1. Oh, bad snap. It's loose. And Williams left to improvise. Hides the ball. Evades a first tackler, but is spun out of bounds. A big loss on 4th and 1 for the Rams. And the Wildcat defense gets another stop.
Well, the snap's low here, but again, this pass rush is quickly getting in the backfield. And that pressure up front, I think, led it to be low. And Williams just tried to do anything to pick it up and get to the outside. But watch the coverage of the Wildcats just sprinting it down as Rashad Streets and Carson Adams, the linebacker, making the play to give the ball back to the offense.
Yeah, that's excellent lateral speed of the chase by Carson Adams. The inside linebacker ran him down. So the mistakes early by the Rams. 3 penalties on the first drive. Poor snap on 4th and 1 on the plus side of the field. And now Milbrook will start this drive from its 45-yard line. And off an immediate hit. And no gain there, maybe even a loss of a yard or 2. There's a penalty marker down, however. And this will go against the Milbrook Wildcats. Wildcats coming to 4-0. No tight games whatsoever in the first month of the regular season. Easy win over Garner. A couple of road wins. They manhandled Wake Forest a couple of weeks ago. Then a 64-15 win over Athens Drive in their conference opener last week. Up in weight class tonight, though, for the Wildcats. 1st and 15, grabbing the back of the jersey and dragging down the running back. And another big stop by Xavier Griffin Haynes. He just got to look like a right fist of the jersey. Yep, and has stretched him back. Said, "You're not going anywhere."
He's 6'6", but that length and quickness up front, committed North Carolina and Bill Belichick, and you just project his potential already. His talent is high end. How much bigger is he going to get? And how much is he going to grow at the next level?
If you're the Wildcats, can you put a little Vaseline in the back of the jersey right there? That's too easy. Loss of 3. 2nd and 18. Bryson Gray looking for some protection. Tipped, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by the Rolesville Rams. And out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. So there's the first big turnover. Marquise Bryant stepped right in front of what looked to be a deflected pass, and an easy pick for the Rams.
Yeah, we discussed Bryant in the opening of the broadcast, and one of the top players in the country in the back end, and this is why. Reads the eyes of the quarterback, jumps in front, and here his team needed a play. He steps up, and good job by him getting the momentum back to the Rolesville sideline.
Second interception of the season for the junior. And now an even shorter field for the Rolesville Rams as they go on offense for the 3rd time in this opening quarter. Well, there's a penalty marker down on the opposite side of the field. And there is our referee, Eddie Pendergrass. Unsportsmanlike call going against the Rolesville Rams. So that will be post-interception. So the turnover remains intact, but it's now going to push the Rolesville Rams back outside the 50-yard line and then some. So they'll mark the ball down to the 49. And Rainer Ackley trying to get an explanation on that Rolesville sideline of the call. There's Eddie Pendergrass in the white hat. He's the referee. He's been at this a long time, 3.5 decades. He's ready for a business-only contest tonight. Again, the referees were not on the field about an hour before the game as both teams were stretching. And it was more than just a little dust-up. It lasted 4 or 5 minutes, but the coaches on both sides had to separate and toot the whistles to separate the teams to their side of the 50. And here's what we saw right before, about an hour before kickoff. It was a lot more than this. We'll see the breach of the 50-yard line. And now another poor snap. This one sails over the head of Williams, and he will cover it up back to the 30-yard line. Well, the center exchange has been very costly to the Rams the last 2 plays from scrimmage. One was low past the left foot. This one sails over the top of Williams' helmets.
And with the penalties and the snaps right now, field position is so important in any ball game, especially when you're going against top competition with each side. And right now, Rolesville, the interception, they've moved it back about 30 yards from where the original line of scrimmage should have been.
You're right, that penalty cost them 15. That bad snap costing the Rams 19 more. This is 2nd and 29, and they will play it safe, but against this Milbrook defense, really no such thing because they're so strong on the front 7. Their back 4 is outstanding as well, and this is not where any team against the Milbrook defense wants to be.
Rashad Streets, number 22 for the Wildcats, was the first player back in the backfield. But this is a group that plays so hard, and when the opponent gets the ball, there's multiple guys flying over. They're very disciplined on the defensive end.
And now we'll see how the Wildcat defense plays this one. 3rd down at about 32 yards. Up the middle, a handoff. They will gladly concede 5 yards and force another punt for the Rolesville Rams.
And the Millbrook defense doing their job, and for Rolesville coming over to the sideline, they just have to find a way to play a little bit cleaner and make sure they're disciplined as far as those penalties and getting their snaps down, because this is a group on offense that can strike quickly. But again, this defense is getting into the backfield.
So Daniels on to kick it away one more time. And Tade Martin stands back around the 20-yard line for Millbrook. 2:05 left opening quarter, scoreless. But all the threats have come from the Rams thus far. Clean snap this time, pressure up the middle, and a high spinner, solid kick by Daniels. Martin lost it, will try to pick it up and does around the 10, and he'll try to open up the field to the far side, speed around the corner, and nice recovery there by Tade Martin as he brings this punt back beyond the 25-yard line. So 1:40 to go in the opening quarter. As expected, Rolesville's offense moving the football, but the Milbrook defense hanging very tough. Scoreless late opening quarter from Rolesville. Stay tuned for the Medical Minute, brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. 0-0 ball game. Millbrook and Rolesville. Jay, we're almost through 12 minutes. Anything caught you by surprise?
Well, just how talented each side is. And right now, which team is going to have that big explosive play? Rolesville got the one turnover, but each offense trying to get into a feel, trying to find that rhythm because they're going against top caliber defenses on both sides.
All right, if you're Rainier Rackley, how concerned are you about the center/quarterback exchange on the pistol?
Well, I think that's a situation where, hey, listen, you just got to make sure those guys feel confident and just settle into this ball game and trust that your guys can make adjustments and get it fixed.
Yeah, because at this stage of the game, that could have cost you at least 3 points, maybe 7, because one was on a 4th and 1, and the other came on the backside after a penalty and really set you well behind the chains and no chance to pick up a first down. Gain of 5 on the first down carry. You're in 1 minute for the opening quarter. Gray will hand it off again. Another clutch at the back of the jersey by Xavier Griffin-Haynes, number 9. Had some help there. Jaden Colson, defensive tackle. Limited yardage for McCullers.
And Griffin-Haynes comes over from the backside along with Jaden Colson, and those two just kind of meet in the middle. And that's a group. You've got to stay on this defensive line. If they get out to the outside or can get off the block, they swarm so quickly.
5 yards to go on third down inside the final 30 seconds of the opening quarter. Fans trying to be as disruptive as they can. Play clock down to 3. And a handoff on 3rd and 5. Helmet lost. First down yardage not gained. Couple of yards short on that 3rd down carry by Santonis Wright. And one more time, here is Eddie Pendergrass. And it's a personal foul face mask. That's why the helmet came off. And this will be an automatic first down for the Wildcats.
Santonis Wright averaging over 11 yards per carry, an easy cause. That helmet just gets ripped off, and they'll pick up that first down. This ball is going to be placed past the 50-yard line.
We have 4 penalties now against Rolesville in this opening quarter. Several have been very costly, 2 of the major infraction variety. And now this gets Milbrook out of jail. They would have had to have punted the football away. And now, with 8 seconds left in the opening quarter, they are in the Rams' territory for the first time. Basically, everything has been on the ground outside of the interception for the Wildcat offense. Nice first down carry here. That will take us to the end of the first quarter. And if you're the Milbrook Wildcats, you've been leaning on your defense all year. You have to be pretty pleased with where you are through the first 12 minutes on the road against the state runner-up from last year. We're done with 1 quarter from Rolesville. The Rams and Wildcats not disappointing. A stalemate through 1.
We're heading into the second quarter here at Rolesville High School, and number 9, Xavier Griffin-Haynes, prior to the break, limped off the field, grabbing at his right knee. He talked with the trainer briefly, but he is back on the field and ready to go, guys, but something to watch out for with him.
And you see on the back of that helmet the Air Jordan logo right there. And you know where he's going. And Jay, after this play here on 2nd and short, I want you to kind of walk through the guest list here at Rolesville High School, watching not only Griffin-Haynes, but about 24 other potential D1 targets, as this will be a first down for the Milbrook Wildcats as we open up the second quarter. Who's here tonight?
Well, it seems like every coach from the ACC and SEC is here, but there's a group, Dave Doran down on the field, as well as other assistant coaches, but there are over 20 Division I players in this ballgame between each side, and even more than that, that'll play at other levels of college football. But this is a talent-rich ball game, and the coaches know, hey, when you come to these schools, you're going to get excellent players, and these high school coaches here, Lamar Marshall, Rainier Rackley, are going to prepare their players to be at their best at the next level. So you know what you're getting when you come here and recruit players from these programs. UNC, Maryland, UCLA down there.
Yep. Yeah, UCLA can use a little help right now.
Yeah.
They're at the right game.
Well, these schools, they'll travel across country if you can find game-changing players.
Yeah, and again, I mean, keep in mind, UCLA is now part of the Big Ten, so their footprint of where they recruit has changed everything.
Yeah, it's changed it because you have an opportunity now to play on the East Coast.
Right.
You'll be out here 3 or 4 times a year.
Second down and about 6. Deepest penetration for the Millbrook offense so far in the game. And a give. McCullers a couple of yards off that left side. Haven't seen much through the air from Gray so far. He's thrown for about 650 over Millbrook's first 4 games.
Lamar Marshall calls the offense for the Wildcats, and right now finding some success running the ball on that left side, giving the ball to McCullers. We talked in the open about him, just the amount of touches. When you give him the ball, you're going to find explosive plays. This offense coming in with a power set. Hayes Bronner at tight end. Quentin Cipher inserted in the ballgame with 2 backs.
3rd and 3. They keep it inside the tackles. McCullers charging to the 20-yard line and picks up another Millbrook first down. Running downhill there. It's one of the best offensive plays we've seen Millbrook run.
And they're starting to get traction up front and get up to that second level. He just needs a crease. Just a small space to operate. He gets it. And it results in a first down in this offense now starting to gain some confidence.
Yeah, and right there on the left side of your screen, number 23, Santonis right. Nice pickup of a would-be blitzer to allow that first down carry to occur for McCullers.
Really good job being physical and helping out your teammate.
Arthritis knee and pain center's first down. Arthritis knee pain relief without surgery or opioids. A toss inside the 5, collected and spun into the end zone. Touchdown, Millbrook. And Quentin Cipher, the recipient of that pass, takes it in the end zone. Touchdown, Millbrook.
Well, Cipher's got offers from everyone. Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. As a linebacker, he's the top linebacker in the state. But here as a tight end, he shows off his skills. Nice job by Lamar Marshall using the play-action pass, getting the Rolesville defense going to the right side. Then Cipher goes back to the left, and Gray hits him in stride.
Whistles before the point after try. Crossroads Ford touchdown. Cipher and Millbrook. Crossroads Ford, the Ford store that gives you more. That is the first pass thrown Cipher's way all year long. Breaking out a wrinkle in the right time of the right game.
And they brought him in on the previous play to run the ball. The 2 tight end set, and then they used that play action after showing run with him in the ball game. Good job trying to keep the defense off balance.
Lurecki on for the extra point. Snap brought down, bang through, and the Millbrook Wildcats, who have not beaten this Rolesville team in 4 years, are on the road and up a touchdown. Early second quarter. Cipher, look at that. Brought it in, beat the defender, spins his way in. His first touchdown of the year. And the Wildcats up 7 on the 24 runner-ups. Hey fans, during the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Remember that. So coming up later in the fourth quarter of tonight's ballgame, 7-0. Millbrook the first lead. There's a look at Cipher. Lassoed in his first reception of the year. Brings it 20 yards to pay dirt. How's Rollesville feeling at this stage?
Well, right now it's like, all right, let's get a response going. That's my message if I'm coming out on the field in the offensive huddle, and this is a group that can strike so quickly. And Milbrook kind of using the field position, getting something going on the ground there, Patrick, and we'll see, if they come back out and try to use that same game plan with McCullers and then open up the passing attack on their next drive.
It's been a half of missed opportunities for the Rams, and they've not been in the red zone, but they've been on the march a couple of times, picked off a pass early in that opening quarter, but penalties and a couple of bad snaps have really been costly, and now they're down a touchdown. And that kick driven into the end zone by Milbrook. So a touchback, and the Rolesville Rams will start at the 20. So there is Caleb Williams, the transfer quarterback for the Rams. Again, they're 2-2, but we've yet to really talk about the high quality of non-conference schedule the Rams played the first couple of weeks. They took a couple of losses, but played some very prolific and prominent teams out in the Charlotte area.
Mallard Creek, Providence Day, both two of the top teams out west.
Yep.
And I just respect the fact so much of these teams that know they're going to have long seasons and have state championship aspirations when they challenge themselves early on. And this was a game for both sides. I think they were excited to see where they stack up against each other. This is a conference game, but they were looking towards this game because they knew this would be a good litmus test.
Now let's see what Williams and the Rams offense can dial up here. Short pass over the middle, incomplete. Off the fingertips of Waddell. Second down. All right, let's check out the Stars and Strikes game summary for the first quarter. Getaway play at Stars and Strikes in Raleigh, located on Capitol Boulevard.
Each offense trying to find a rhythm. Now, Milbrook created it on that last drive and 31 rushing yards for them. And the penalties right now and the snaps for Rolesville, something they're looking to clean up here in the second quarter.
No gain on that first down play. It's a pretty early dose of Amir Brown to begin the game. Now they're trying to air it out in a hard slant just ahead of Waddell, who had some space if that pass is on target.
And they're going back to the middle of the field. There is a crease for Waddell. Quick throw to the outside. He's not able to connect. But I would expect Rolesville to go back to attacking that center of the field because there's been some open areas for them to roam.
And again, Caleb Williams, he's been completing passes at a 70% clip. That's a pretty simple pass and catch on that play, but not too terribly close to connecting there. Whistle's blown, and we have a timeout on the field ahead of this third down play for the Rams. Rams just right now look out of sync in about every phase of the game, Jay.
And Lamar Marshall and his group, that defense, they've shown different looks trying to slow down this offense. And this is a challenge for each offense. And this is a test because they're going against defensive lines and three levels of defenses that they're fast, they're physical, but they do a good job disguising their looks and schemes.
And they're also so talented. This is not really defense you can expect to wear down by the third or fourth quarter, especially the way the offense has looked the last couple of drives. Hey fans, stay tuned for the Affordable Dentures and Implants halftime report. We'll have this week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar athletes, interviews, highlights, and more. Affordable Dentures and Implants. Save 15% on your dental treatment plan. Visit affordabledentures.com. I'm so happy to be back. Great to see you, Jay, Paul, the entire crew down to the truck, the camera crew. Durham Bulls baseball season ended over the weekend, so here we are. This is my opening day on week 5. Well, I'll be with Jay and Madison and our great crew the rest of the way. 3rd and 10 for the Rolesville Rams. Down a touchdown, but they are on their heels a bit in the game of the year across the state. Williams looking downfield, pressure again. Flush to the right, stumbles, lost the football inside the 5. It's loose. It springs into the hands of Quentin Cipher. Touchdown, Milbrook. Cipher has had his paws on both Milbrook touchdowns. One on his first touchdown reception of the year a moment ago. And now a fortuitous bobble from a teammate near the end zone right into his hands, and he finishes it off. And the Wildcats are up 13.
All right, here we go. I mean, it starts with the defensive pressures. Rashad Streets with the inside swim move and then tracking him down to knock the ball loose. Wilbert was back there as well, and Quentin Cipher recognized it, sprinted back there, and picks up the fumble for a touchdown. And now this defense for the Wildcats is starting to take over and impose their will.
2 Wildcat touchdowns in 18 seconds. And it's 14-0 Wildcats. And it was all the initial pressure that got into the backfield, forced Williams to have to sprint out, but carried the football very loosely. It looked like a Wildcat defender maybe got a finger on the football, pried it loose. It was just a matter of who was going to recover for the touchdown. Just so happens it's Quinton Cipher.
Cipher led the state in tackles as a freshman, only a junior. They're already very well accomplished. And over on the sideline for Rolesville, looking at the pads right now, just looking at the looks that Milbrook is presenting and trying to find ways to create some offense and move the ball.
By the way, I know it's a different looking Rams offense. Brand new quarterback with the transfer Caleb Williams in. Last year, Rolesville beat Milbrook 35-0. They beat him by 23 points 2 years ago. They beat him by 29 the year before. The last Millbrook win over Rolesville was back in 21. That was in the regular season, though. Rolesville knocked him out in the third round of the playoffs to gain some revenge. So this is a day, still very early in this football game, that Wildcats alums, Wildcat fans, and current Wildcat players and coaches have been waiting for. Perhaps that night is tonight's. 14-0 Millbrook. Long way to go, though. And now, how monumental is this next offensive drive for Rolesville? These fans who are making all kinds of noise before kickoff and through the first couple of drives, they are deadly silent in front of us. Can the Rams find a spark? Return going downhill. Oh, this could be a big one. Sprinting to the outside, that is Kalen Johnson. The ball comes loose, though. And the play is whistled dead. Fortunately for the Rams, because Cairo Williams had the football in his hands. And here is Eddie Pendergrass with a marker down. And it's holding against Rolesville on that return. So as they mark it off, let's go back down to the sidelines in Madison.
How will you respond? That's what head coach Renier Rackley has been asking this team all season. The Rams came face-to-face with adversity early after losing their first 2 games of the season, but that question is rooted in the results of last season. You guys talked about it. They were runners-up in state champs last year, and they were not happy. Coach told me that the conversation after the state championships was, Rolesville has fell off, and he says that's not true. He said they started 0-2 for the first time since 2021 this season, but it's all about how are we going to respond. His team is focusing on that response, and that was exactly what he just asked his teammates on the sidelines. How will we respond?
And prior to Rackley being promoted to be the head coach for the Rams, they played in the spring season of 21. They were a state runner-up then, so they had been on the cusp of that coveted first state championship a couple of times. And again, they feel like they have most of the pieces here, but certainly the addition of Caleb Williams, brand new quarterback, a lot to replace, but they feel like they have all the talent around on the offensive side and on the defensive side.
Now, Rainier Rackley's built a power here, and everybody, when they face Rolesville, they know it's going to be a challenge, and this is a group with a lot of new players, a lot of new starters that are filling voids from last year's excellent team and the leadership of Coach Rackley. It permeates on the field and off the field for his players. They love playing for him.
Caleb Williams on the handoff on 2nd and 10. And the pile is pushed across the 25-yard line to about the 26. All right, well, now this is a situation over the course of now the next, 32 minutes or so. This is an opportunity for Caleb Williams to really become a leader of this program. He's brand new. He's been here for a couple of months. Started the first 4 games. Now they're in conference play, facing a ton of adversity at home early in the season. But the winner of this game is going to have the inside track to the league championship. And certainly the confidence that they can take it off the sheet and win a state title. Here's his opportunity to really rally his team. Another tough snap. He handles this one. Gets the handoff, but there is that swarming front 4 for the Wildcats. Chase Sizer, number 15, in the middle of it. And this will force another punt for the Rams.
Marcus Gladden, the defensive coordinator for Milbrook, is getting a pass rush up front and does not have to bring the blitz. And look at these guys. just all over the field, playing so hard, making it difficult to find any room to run.
And we'll see Daniels punted away for the third time in this first half. Gilchrist waits back at the 30 for the Wildcats. If nothing else, flip the field by Daniels with a solid kick. It's average. It's going to land just past midfield, take a sharp bounce, but only add on a couple of yards. This will be a pretty good field position again for the Millbrook Wildcats. Lamar Marshall, the Wildcats up 2 scores on the road midway through the second quarter. A reminder, stay tuned for the Medical Minute brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. That is coming up later in our broadcast. Week 5 across the high school gridiron of North Carolina. Biggest game across the state, features 2 title contenders, Milbrook and Rolesville. And after the first couple of minutes, a solid first drive by Rolesville. Poor snap cost them on 4th down. And things have steadily kind of gone downhill for the Rams. And the Millbrook Wildcats, an offensive touchdown and a defensive touchdown within 18 seconds of each other. And they force another punt. And the Wildcats back on offense again. They swing it out to the backside. And that'll be good for a couple of yards. That's Hayes Bronner, the tight end, bringing that one in. His first reception of the game.
Bronner 6'6", and they use him in line as well as in the slot. He's a big target for this offense, and Gray throwing the ball. It's another play action pass with the fake with the run. Then they go back through the air.
And the thing about this Millbrook offense, I mean, they know the defense is kind of their lunch card. They're unlikely to make a lot of offensive mistakes to give Rollesville some hope here. They know what they are offensively, and they do it extremely well. Second and about 7. And the Colors will make it 3rd and short.
And right now they're using a pro set with 2 tight ends in the ballgame. Bronner as well as Quentin Cipher in there, and Hunter Jenks, the offensive line coach, former head coach, getting that group up front to stay low, move the line of scrimmage, and really set up this offense for 3rd and shorts, and gives them the possibility here for 2 downs to pick up 1 yard.
Deliberately, Gray under center. The give, and this is trouble if he breaks free inside the 20-yard line. Dragged down as McCullers around the 15. The Rams committed everybody to the line of scrimmage. McCullers almost broke completely free, but they're inside the red zone. First down, Wildcat.
Yeah, and they're going up here, selling out to stop the run. Missed tackle, and then it was the hustle from Avery Fleet coming over to track him down. Otherwise, this would have been a touchdown. That the Wildcats, though, had on a hat up front, staying low and creating space for McCullers to run through.
So the Wildcats inside the Saltwater Seafood red zone. It's the reel it in red zone with the Saltwater Seafood and Fry Shack. From boat to bite, done right. 1st and 10, hand off to the fullback, and they'll go for a couple yards to the right side.
Jacob Bowen. Yeah, the 6'3" running back, being physical, getting a carry there, and plays defensive end as well. 225 pounds, only a sophomore. And this is a group that they try to stay fresh in the backfield, mixing in Bowen, Wright, McCullers, as well as the running ability of Gray.
Yeah, I think it's a very important point you just mentioned. They know this game is far from over, trying to keep the bodies fresh as they seize a little bit more command. Now they toss wide open and in and out of the hands of McCullers. Pass is perhaps a little high and slightly behind McCullers as he corkscrewed around, got some fingers on it but couldn't bring it home.
Well, Milbrook continued to try to run the ball to set this up. It's the play action. Try to bring those linebackers up. It was there. There's McCullers sneaking out of the backfield, and that's a tough catch, especially when you're going full speed forward and you got to lean there for the ball. Now this Rolesville defense, they need to make a play here. A sack would be huge.
Yeah, the Rams right now they're playing with fire. Could easily be a 3-touchdown game. 3rd and 8 for the Wildcats as Gray looks to the sideline. And with the play clock down to 1, a timeout was taken. And it'll keep it 3rd and 8. So the sideline goes Bryson Gray in the Millbrook offense. Lamar Marshall right in the center. Been kind of watching him as Millbrook is taking a touchdown lead, 2-touchdown lead. His visage on the sideline, Jay, perfectly calm, stoic. You can't tell if he's up by 2 scores or down by 2 scores.
Exuding confidence. And pregame talked with both coaches, and they were locked in, ready to go. And such great guys. Excellent coaches on the field, off the field. They care about their players so much. It's always great talking with Coach Marshall, Coach Rackley, and their passion for their programs and just the job they've done. I mean, these two teams are well known throughout the state because of the talent and the development that these coaching staffs give to their players.
Right. Jay, you played at such a high level in high school and in college. When you know your defense needs to make a play, I mean, everybody out there right now for the Rollsville Rams knows we need to stop, need to make a play somehow. How does that become a reality?
Well, you're urging on. Over on the sideline, everybody is telling these guys, trying to motivate them and tell them, hey, we need you right now. And as a defensive player out there, you've got to seize the moment. You've got to recognize, hey, we need a momentum shift, and the coaching staff, I'd expect them to cook something up here to create disruption for Milbrook.
Now, this is 3rd and 8. McCullers is in the backfield with Gray. They reset Bronner to the right. Play clock at 6. And here we go. It is McCullers. Hesitating, cutting back toward the end zone, and he is diving home. Touchdown, Millbrook. It's McCullers from 14. 20-0, Millbrook.
Chitty up front, Ramsey, Lazaro, Andrew, and Preston. This offensive line doing their job. Bronner, the tight end, just creating a path, and then McCullers so patient, reading the line, waiting for it to develop, and then he just shoots through. What a run. What a job by that O-line creating the path, and the Wildcats now have seized momentum of this game, and it's really starting with that running game and just chipping away at it as they move down the field.
That is the 7-touchdown carry by McCullers this season. 14-yard touchdown run, Crossroads Ford touchdown. Crossroads Ford, the Ford store that gives you more. And Jay, there are fans turning their heads one way, turning their heads the other to their family and friends with a look of utter disbelief right now in what they are witnessing here on the home field. 21-0 Millbrook. 3 touchdowns in this second quarter. Stunned silence right now for the Rams fans.
This is an excellent atmosphere and crowd, and right now in game, on the road, Milbrook coming out here and striking first and multiple times here in the second quarter. And now, as a Rolesville player, you've got to find a response. You've hit adversity right now. Who's going to step up? And the mindset has to be, hey, we've got to get something going, especially going into the halftime break. And it starts on special teams where they can be so explosive returning the ball.
And this is where, Rainier Rackley, as the head coach, they have not faced kind of adversity like this in a while. Let's look at Cypher, who's been part of 2 scores. You're also dealing with, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids who certainly were not expecting this to be the situation approaching a halftime. But a lot of time to turn things around. And this is where you need to play psychologists, keep them motivated somehow, some way.
Well, on both sides, I mean, Milbrook, even though you've got a 3-score lead, you can't be comfortable.
Nope.
And for Rolesville, hey, this is a long game. Games can shift and change so quick. All it takes is one play, and then it just flips over to the other side. And that's got to be the mindset for Rolesville and over for Milbrook. Hey, you just want to continue to ride this wave you're on and be consistent.
Time for another Legacy Construction and Roofing kickoff. Legacy Construction and Roofing, always here when you need us. 21-0 Millbrook. And that will be stopped by one of the up men for the Rams. Just ushers it gently out of bounds around the 25-yard line. So 3:59 to go before we get to our halftime report. Stay tuned for that. Brought to you by Affordable Dentures and Implants. We'll have this week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athletes. Madison will have those. Interviews, highlights, and more. Affordable Dentures and Implants. Save 15% on your dental treatment plan. Visit affordabledentures.com. 3 timeouts for Rolesville. 3:59 on the clock here in the first half. Millbrook, FYI, gets the football to begin the second half. So this is even more important for the Rolesville Rams. Williams, safe toss, left side. A couple of tackles broken. And a solid first down play. Good for about 8 or 9 to Waddell.
Bynum and Williams coming up on the back end for Milbrook. And good job from Waddell here. He's going to Louisville, one of the best in the country as a wide receiver. Just the ability to make guys miss. And they need him to create big plays. He's their big guy in this offense. One of the leaders, hardest worker in the program. And Dave Dorn came out to see him and the rest of these star players with both programs.
He's standing in the back of the end zone. They've seen a lot of action here in the last 5 minutes. 2nd and 1. A late shift in the backfield. But here comes pressure again, and Williams goes down again. And there is Marquez Wilbert. We've called his name in the backfield abruptly a couple of times this first half.
He's winning with leverage up front and doesn't get touched there. Just a miscommunication up front, but he stays so low coming out of the block. But you've got to find a way to communicate up front, slow him down, because right now he's already been in the backfield multiple times making plays.
Jay, you could win that 1-on-0 right there. Even you.
I could
have pressured the quarterback. A loss of 10.
I believe you could as well.
Maybe. With the right shoes.
We'd be tired after, though.
3rd and 12. 4-man rush. Dangerous pass, but it gets through. First down, Rams. We said that a couple of times, but Henry Evans came down with it. And there's a flag on the near side of the field as well toward the Rolesville sideline. And a Wildcat down is on the other side of the field. And the plea we are seeing from the Rams right there with a couple of the officials tells me this is going on Rolesville. And once again, Eddie Pendergrass will sort it out. Meanwhile, a Wildcat player shaken up, just now getting up, and that is Carson Adams. And here's the call. And another big one against Rolesville, but it's going both ways. So offsetting. And the result of the play will stand.
This is a heck of a throw from Williams. He feels the pressure and then just gets it in between the two defenders, and Evans, the big sophomore tight end, comes up with a huge play to move the chains.
Just looked like maybe that helmet and shoulder went driven into the grass. Shook up Carson Adams, but he's on his feet. Didn't see what happened on the backside of the play as far as the offsetting penalties, but it will be a first down for Rolesville. 2:30 to go in the first half, trailing 21-0.
And there's Evans, the sophomore tight end, and he's a big target. Very fast. He can win over the middle going against linebackers, and very versatile in this offense. Mike Holderman, the offensive coordinator, will use him in different spots, making sure they try to highlight him and Jack McHugh, the other tight end, and 2 tight end sets.
Right out to the 40-yard line. Arthritis Knee and Pain Center's first down. Arthritis knee pain relief without surgery or opioids. Three on the D line. Now they rush 4. And they swing to the flat. Waddell brings it down, but limited yardage, maybe 4. And a little bit of entanglement on the extraction. Cairo Williams, number 11 for Milbrook. And now Waddell gets up and kind of walks toward Cairo Williams. I don't see any flags coming in yet, but some admonishments are taking place from the officials against some players.
Cairo Williams, excellent safety, 3-star college prospect. He's made big plays in other Friday Night Rivals games. Last year, a 3 interception, and there after the play, just trying to make it known his presence, and both sides getting tangled up.
Yeah. And I did see one of the assistant coaches for Rolesville, Amir Brown, was kind of helped to his own sideline by one of his assistant coaches. He was one of the guys most active in that scrum before kickoff. So he's certainly very excitable. He's back in the huddle now as Rolesville has called a timeout with 2:02 to go in the half. Again, emotions, rivalries, ratcheted up off the chart between these teams. But right now it's one-way traffic for Milbrook.
Well, these teams know each other so well, and they respect each other because they know, hey, in order to get to where we want to go, we've got to go through each other. And some of these players grew up playing football throughout their lives, well before they've gotten to high school, and there's relationships between the coaching staffs and these players, and there's a competitive fire in wanting to win this game.
And keep in mind, some of these guys are going to be rivals for 4 or 5 more years
at
the college level. I mean, within the ACC, the SEC, perhaps the Big Ten, and there you see, I mean, that's Rainier Rackley right now trying to settle down Amir Brown. You can see he's one of the leaders on this team, but a very excitable fuse for the Rams. And we've already seen some silly mistakes by this Rolesville team in this first half. They're down 21 points. They can ill afford another one, especially at this moment of the game. Second and 5 for the Rams. Four-man rush again. And miscommunication there into the sideline. Receiver broke in. Pass went to the sideline. And it's third down.
Rashad Street's out of the ball game on that play, and now coming back in for this big third down. And staying fresh, Milbrook trying to rotate their guys. Very good depth, and there's Evans. I think is one of the main targets and options here on this third down.
Yeah, and the Rams offensive line, they have to know where Marquez Wilbert is as well, number 33. He's lined up outside the right tackle. And that will be a fingertip catch, I believe, near midfield. Yes, it is a catch. And the officials indicate that is barely enough to move the chain. So a third down conversion stops the clock in the first half with 1:53 to go. So baby steps for the Rams offense. They move the chains again.
And this is a huge play from Waddell. They needed this one. And this was a tough catch. He goes down, focuses all the way through to haul it in. And there's the rush right up the middle against Williams. And this is a tough play, especially when you've got to come through that ball kind of going towards the outside. He came up with a big one.
First down. Across the middle and a diving effort, and did Williams get his hands underneath it? He did not. Nearly inches away from a Millbrook interception. Cairo Williams trying to cradle it in off the top of the grass. The officials were right on it. Said no catch, a trap. Second down.
Cairo Williams, last year in Friday Night Rivals, game of the week, he had 3 interceptions when we covered him. And here, pull on that Milbrook jersey.
That could have been an offensive pass interference. Right?
Williams comes through and tries to get his arms underneath this. So close, you see that ball trapped. Good call.
Well, the Rams dodged a couple of bullets there. Easily could have been an offensive pass interference. A couple of inches away from another turnover. Williams needs to get sharper. Under pressure now, and the offensive line lets him down, and Williams sacked again. Loss of about 5 more. Third and long with under a minute 20 to go in this first half.
This pass rush, all 4 defenders standing up. Only 4 rushers from Milbrook. They're winning up front and getting off the ball quickly. Is just causing havoc in the backfield.
I mean, the O-line is not doing Williams any favors here in this first half, but when he has had time to throw, made a couple of miscommunications with his receivers, missed that slant earlier in the first half, and even on that 3rd and 5 for a first down where Waddell caught, if Waddell catches that in stride, that's another 15 or 20 yards.
The key for this offense is trying to get Milbrook off balance, and whether that's misdirection plays, sweeps, screens, something to create a spark. And Rainier Rackley talking to his team. That was a good timeout, bringing everybody over to the side, regrouping, and making sure everyone's on the same page for this big third down opportunity.
As it's 3rd and 15, Jay, and if Rolesville doesn't pick up the first down of this play, I mean, let's say they pick up 7 or 8 yards, you almost have to punt the football away, don't you? You can't give a 50-yard field and a 3-score lead to Milbrook with a chance to put up more points before halftime. We'll see what Rainier Rackley has in mind, but the outcome of this third down play will be the predicate on what the Rams will do. How heavy will the pressure be from the Wildcat defense? They line up four. Wilbert is on the right side. He stunts. Pressure, and Williams goes down one more time. This time Chase Sizer does the damage.
The Sizer up front, number 15. He's going to twist and then go inside to make the play. And he's athletic. He's sturdy up front. And from his linebacker position, he can come up on the pass rush. And Sizer steps up that third and long. There's a different scheme up there with the stunt, moving Sizer around, and he gets home.
And Amir Brown had the responsibility of picking him up, and the running back just kind of whiffed on him. And it's now 4th down and 21. 59 seconds to go. A timeout has been taken by Millbrook because now they can go for the jugular here. Again, they get the football on the other side of intermission. I mean, you could almost sub out for a punt block here on your special teams, even if you don't get it. Let's play worst case. You run into the kicker, you give them 15 yards. Will they score or not against your defense? And if you're Milbrook's head coach, Lamar Marshall, unlikely. But even if the punt is off, you're still going to have 60 yards, no timeouts, and a minute to go.
Full house tonight.
Yeah, great crowd. Some are filtering out of their seats as we're heading toward intermission. And a good crowd on the other side of the field as well, as the Milbrook fans have made a pretty strong appearance. Here's Quentin Cipher, number 2. Touchdown reception, his first catch of the year. And then a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Each of those happening earlier in this quarter. This was a 0-0 game after 1. All right, will the Wildcats come? Yes, they will. Hard, and they nearly got there. And there's the catch made by Gilchrist. Immediate hit. Down he goes like a sack of doorknobs at the 25-yard line. And now we'll see how conservatively the Wildcats played here. I'd imagine a couple of runs. Called a half.
This is a heck of a job from Daniels getting this ball with the hang time off after that pass rush. And Gilchrist, 3-year starter, one of the top leaders on this Milbrook team, Lamar Marshall. Just talk about his importance and what he brings production-wise and leadership-wise to his teammates.
Now, this could not have been a better first 24 minutes here for the Milbrook Wildcats. On the road, motivated, clearly. Grinded through the opening quarter and then converted. Capitalized on opportunities, and we see Bryson Gray take a knee. And the Milbrook Wildcats are going to be content to take a 3-touchdown lead to intermission on the road.
I think for Millbrook, the change happened in that second quarter when they started getting traction running the football, and their defense has been excellent all throughout this ball game. It was the offense, though, that started to get rolling, and then it just opened things up. They mixed in the play-action pass, and right here, you've got the 3-score lead. Everything is going your way. No reason to take any chances. Go into the break with momentum, and then make sure you come out in the third quarter and play the same exact way and continue that same game plan.
Yeah, one last knee for Gray. The final 5 seconds will tick off, and the Milbrook Wildcats are halfway home here in Rollesville. And where this first half began to unravel for me was on that 4th and 1 with Rollesville on offense in plus territory. The bad snap that whistled right past Caleb Williams' ankle. And from then, it just doesn't feel like the Rams have been able to right this ship yet. But they will have a very important halftime message as Madison Little is about to hook up with Lamar Marshall. And we'll get his thoughts here out of the first half. So a 21-0 lead for Milbrook. Madison is now with Lamar Marshall.
All right, Coach, what do you like about your defense's ability to get in the backfield?
Well, the core of our to run and be able to rush the football. We're committed to doing both of those things tonight. We've been doing a pretty good job of it. We're up 21-0 against a really good football team. We've got to come out in the second half like it's 0-0.
And a lot of emotion towards the end of that half. How do you mitigate that in the second?
It's a rivalry game. Conference championship, playoff seeding, everything is on the line. We talked to the guys about being poised before the game. We're doing a pretty good job of it, but we do want to play with emotion. We've got to keep everything under control.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Excellent.
All right, thanks a lot, Madison. Thank you, Coach. 21-0, the Milbrook advantage. Quinn Cipher has been on the receiving end of a touchdown and the beneficiary of a strip sack and a kickback from his teammate. Cipher takes that one in, and the Millbrook Wildcats tack on a late score as well. 21-0 at the break. Millbrook on top of Rolesville. Stay tuned. The Affordable Dentures and Implants halftime report up next.
You're watching the Affordable Dentures and Implants halftime report. Save 15% on most dental treatment plans, $1,000 and more at Affordable Dentures and Implants. Visit affordabledentures.com.
Tatum and Atkinson is proud to present the Friday Night Rivals Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week from Millbrook High School. The Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week is Marcello Chidi. Marcello is Academic All-Conference, a member of National Honor Society, a Fellowship of Christian Athletes Student Advisor, and carries a 3.79 GPA. Marcello volunteers as a youth sports mentor and serves as the Milbrook JV football announcer. From Rolesville High School, the Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week is Gavin Waddell. Gavin is an all-state football performer, an Army All-American Bowl nominee, and carries a 3.5 GPA. Gavin is Academic All-Conference, volunteers as a youth sports mentor, and is committed to the University of Louisville.
Congratulations to our Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week.
This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Tatum and Atkinson. Injured in a wreck? Call the heavy hitters.
Once again, congratulations to our Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athletes of the Week. We will be back with more right after these messages.
You're watching the Affordable Dentures and Implants halftime report. Save 15% on most dental treatment plans, $1,000 and more at Affordable Dentures and Implants. Visit affordabledentures.com.
Welcome back. I am now joined by the principal for Rolesville High School, Phelan Perrin. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Well, your students really showed out tonight. What a great crowd. What can you say about this Rolesville community?
So, Rolesville community, I mean, it's second to none. The kids, the families, the community, the businesses, the government, everyone comes together to support football.
And you've been in education for over 2 decades now.
28 years.
28 years. How important are events like Friday Night Rivals to these schools and to these students?
So sports brings the community together, especially in your smaller towns. We have people that, went to Rolesville schools, 3rd generation, that come out just to support athletics. So it's huge for the community.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
That was Phelan Perry, the principal for Rolesville High School. We will be back with more of our halftime report right after this.
You're watching the Affordable Dentures and Implants halftime report. Save 15% on most dental treatment plans, $1,000 and more at Affordable Dentures and Implants. Visit affordabledentures.com.
All right, there's the scoreline. At halftime from Rolesville. Milbrook 21, Rolesville nothing. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sohnhalter back with you from Rolesville High School. A stunner, at least for the first half, but a long way to go. And Jay, let's take a look at our Stars and Strikes game summary and some highlights from this first half.
That first quarter is kind of difficult for both offenses, and the defense for Rolesville stood up first. Marquise Bryant coming through with an interception, did a great job reading the eyes, and then the Wildcats started getting things going, running the ball, and then using the play-action pass. It was Gray to Quentin Cipher for the first touchdown of the game.
Yeah, there's 20 yards out, and then the defensive pressure forced this strip sack, and the ball out of the fingertips and kicked right back into Cipher's hands for his second score in 18 seconds, and it was 14-0.
Yeah, that pass rush was dominant. Rashad Streets just all over the field. There's another look at as Wilbur was back there, Cypher, those players just flowing and making it difficult. And this group on the defensive end helped set up their offense with field position, and then that offensive line and McCullers started to get things rolling, getting up to the next level and being physical. And they got that ground game going, and they really felt like, hey, listen, if we can stop the run and run the ball, we're going to set ourselves up to have a great opportunity.
All right, here's our game summary for the first half, presented by Stars and Strikes. Get away and play at Stars and Strikes in Raleigh, located on Capitol Boulevard.
The rushing attack for Rollsville with those snaps early on really just kind of set them behind the sticks, and then on the other side, rushing 70 yards, only 23 yards through the air. But it was that defense setting up the offense, and the offense taking advantage of those opportunities and only having 3 penalties. On each side, though, Patrick, a whole nother half to play, and it all starts over here starting the third quarter.
And Milbrook will have the ball when we come back. Halftime winding down. Those Millbrook fans who made the short trip from Raleigh in a very glib mood. With 24 minutes to play. Milbrook on top of Rolesville, 21-0 at the break.
Welcome back in. I'm alongside head coach for the Rams, Rainier Rackley. Coach, how do you stop this Millbrook pass rush in the second?
We just got to get more protection. We got to get more time. We're not buying time right now. They blitzing every gap impossible. So we just got to make sure that we're doing what we got to do and just get more time.
Who will you look for to be that offensive spark for you guys in the second?
The quarterback. Quarterback just got to, you trust his eyes and just do what he know how to do.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Back to you guys.
All right. Thanks a lot, Madison. Thank you, Coach Rackley. Jade, let's put the head coaching hat on top of you. Let's start with the Rolesville Rams with 3 scores down.
Well, and with what Coach Rackley said to Madison is that on the offensive side and that O-line. I think part of this is you've got to challenge those guys, and then also, too, there's got to be somebody to step up, create a big play. And Caleb Williams has to make sure he eludes the pass rush and finds different options and just stays comfortable in the pocket with all the fire that he's facing. But that's the offensive side for Rolesville. On defense, they got 1 interception with Marquise Bryant, but they've got to do something to help out their team and create more turnovers. And right now for Milbrook, this is a group you've got to feel very good with where you're at, but you've got to remember this is a talented group on the other side that can come back quickly. So you want to come out here and make sure your number one key has to be protect the football, limit your penalties. You only had 3 in the first half, and I would go back to the ground game. Continue to try to run the ball and maintain that winning mentality along the trenches. And you see Caleb Williams warming up over on the sideline. The coaching staff and Coach Rackley has a lot of confidence in his ability, and this is an offensive group that can put up points in a flurry, but they're going against a different defense here tonight. This is a big challenge.
And I wanted to revisit that point because the first thing that Coach Rackley said, the offensive line, they're blitzing on us every time from different gaps. It's a simulation you can't prepare for in a week of practice. You know it's coming, but how do you, in a span of a 10-minute halftime chat, pick up all the different cracks that you've seen from your offensive line?
Well, I think the number one thing you have to do is keep tight ends in to help blocks, running backs in to chip and slow down the rush, and then also you've got to get Williams out to the perimeter, some design passes out to the outside, screens, misdirections, just things to slow down this defense, because right now they're playing fast, they're flying to the football, so you've got to give them some indecision where the ball is and just try to make them hesitate just for a second.
But if you're using more double tight end sets, that limits who's running down the field in pass patterns. So here we go. Second half underway. Legacy Construction and Roofing kickoff. Legacy Construction and Roofing, always here when you need us. And there is the kicker for Rolesville, who is down, Riley Daniels, after the opening kick of this second half. And was there a shot that knocked him down here, Jay? There was. And Daniels, the kicker, is down, and the coaching staff fired up. Let's watch this right here. Here's the approach by Daniels. I mean, he is helpless right there, and he just gets mugged and taken down by Milbrook. That's Jacob Bowen, number 44, who takes him down. I would not be at all surprised. There could be an ejection here on this play if you're the officials. They are gathering right at midfield, and Eddie Pendergrass is talking with a couple of other officials here. This may be an ejection of white 44.
Riley Daniels, one of the top kickers in the state. Gotten to know him off the field. Just a great kid. Good to see him walk it off and be okay.
I mean, that is just an absolutely senseless penalty and tackle to make right there. And we'll see what Eddie Pendergrass decides here. And they're taking a look at Daniels on the sideline. Feeling around that arm. And there's Jacob Bowen, number 44 right there. I don't know how you explain this away, or even if he's trying. Lamar Marshall is now having a conversation with Eddie Pendergrass. I mean, he was basically a defensive player right there, just ambushed by Bowen. Fortunately, Daniel appears to be okay, still flexing that left arm on the sideline. And for Eddie Pendergrass, I mean, this may be an ejection of Milbrook's Bowen. Let's take another look here from the center of the field. There's the kick, Jay. Walk us through. I mean, he's coming right at him, right after the kick.
When they threw the flag, and we'll see who it's on, though, it didn't look like they called it on Milbrook.
Is the penalty not? So you're saying the penalty might not be on that tackle of the kicker?
Yeah, originally the signal was towards the other side.
Right. I just thought Pendergrass had it wrong.
Yeah, and, well, we'll see what the result is as they're discussing this. And this has been a long discussion with both coaches.
There's Rainer Rackley. He's confused also. I mean, this is a really long chat with Lamar Marshall, with 3 of the 5 officials with the Milbrook head coach. And there's no communication from the field coming to the press box here, so we are waiting in line with you to see how this plays out. They have marked the football back at the 10-yard line. That's where Pendergrass is walking. There's Bowen. Helmet still on. The kick went into the end zone. And so now it looks like the infraction is going against Milbrook, half the distance to the goal. So it does now appear that perhaps Pendergrass pointed the wrong way on the infraction of the personal foul. But I don't see Bowen leaving the field, so this is just going to be a personal foul half the distance, and we're going to play on from the 10-yard line.
And Riley Daniels over on the sideline, standing up, walking.
Yep.
Kind of holding his arm, but hopefully he'll be okay, and looks to be okay because he's walking it off.
All right, there's a look at Daniels. Good to see him walking around under his own power. So here we go. The first time play of the third quarter already, and, well, I take that back. 2 seconds came off the clock, an illegal shift. And this will be 5 more yards against the Wildcats.
It's going to move back even more for this offense.
Well, I mean, you're talking about what Rolesville needs to spark this. This is it. You force a turnover here.
And this is where, as a defender, the leaders have to step up and say, hey, listen, let's make plays right now. This is how you get yourself back into this ball game if you can create sacks, turnovers, and create disruption for this offense.
Now we're ready for the first play from scrimmage of this third quarter, about 10 minutes later. And a handoff to the left, and minimal yardage there, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Now, certainly coming out of halftime, we saw some dancing on the Milbrook sideline, a lot of smiles. Coach was trying to say, listen, long way to go in this one. We need to stay focused like it's a 0-0 game. That's not how Milbrook has started this third quarter. And a ridiculously silly penalty to begin this third quarter by Millbrook. And now another penalty, and now a run for nothing.
Well, the number one key here for Millbrook is just protect the football, and you can't create negative plays.
Bryson Gray will play it easily. Handoff, and again, nothing. The Rams defense stands tall one more time, and again, a little bit of shoving, a little bit of pushing. That's Marquise Bryant, number 6. There's now a third down.
Bryant's had an interception. Now he comes up and run support. Jaden Brody, Avery Fleet, Jaden Griffin Haynes. Multiple players coming in to stop the run, set up a 3rd and long. Again for Millbrook here. You've got to be very careful. I'm thinking run, screen, quarterback design, run. Something where you are playing it safe. Trust your punt unit. Come out. If you do not pick it up, flip the field position. You can't put it at risk here.
First time we've really heard the Rollsville fans making some positive noise in a while, and they will get the stop here. And they will force a Millbrook punt from its end zone.
And this is a good job from Rollsville. You take advantage of the 2 penalties on Millbrook, and then you stand strong. And you're going to get the ball back to your offense. Should be with good field position, but you come out there 3 and out and set the stage now for your offense to hopefully get a drive going.
So Luberecki right at his goal line. And the Rams should have this football inside the 50-yard lane easily. Pressure up the middle. It's high, but it's short. And it tails toward the Rollsville sideline. There's a big hit as the catch was made on the punt by Rollsville's Darion Newborn, but he got met. No return. Fortunately, the Rams held on to the football. Well, it's been a bit of a wonky start of the third quarter, but we're underway. Rollsville football down 21 in plus territory when we come back. $21-0 Millbrook on top of Rollsville. A couple of minutes into the third quarter. Stay tuned following the game for the Papa John's play of the game. That is all following or toward the tail end of tonight's ball game between Millbrook and Rollsville. All right, Patrick Keenis and Jay Sohnhalter back with you. And now we see Rollsville go on offense. A good defensive stand by the defense for Rollsville to begin this third quarter. And now a first down conversion, but a penalty marker down, actually 2 of them right around the line of scrimmage. And there's CJ, big penalty on Millbrook again. Well, targeting play and holding as we marched off against the Wildcats. And as beautifully as that second quarter went for the Wildcats, this third quarter is a nightmare so far for Millbrook.
For Rollsville, all right, these penalties are benefiting you, and this is where you have to strike. Take advantage of the mistakes of the Wildcats.
Yep. So to the 30-yard line, the Rollsville offense. This is just about the deepest they've been in this entire game. First down play. It's on the ground and very little there. Rashad Streets is there to wrap up the ball carry. Gain of maybe a yard. And Amir Brown.
And Patrick, how do you slow down a pass rush? Well, you got to run the ball. And not only is Millbrook good and getting after the quarterback, they are sturdy and run support, but that's the way you slow them down, is try to get them moving side to side, create creases, and then hope that'll open up the passing game. But you look at this front. I mean, there's college prospects all throughout this defensive roster, and this is a group that they've brought numbers, they brought blitzes, they've also won with just those 4 guys.
A 3-receiver formation. No tight ends to help. This is Brown bursting through the middle, spins inside the 25, close to the 21. And he'll be about a yard and a half short.
Amir Brown committed to North Carolina, only a junior, and there it is right up the middle. Good job blocking and putting bodies on that defense, and just enough to fall forward, and got 2 downs in my mind to pick up this yard.
And they will only need 1. I think with forward progress, he'll have it. to about the 19. So inside the Saltwater Seafood red zone, it's the Reel It In red zone with Saltwater Seafood and Fry Shack from boat to bite done right.
Right now, Rolesville doing a good job moving the ball, running the ball. I'd keep it on the ground. Continue to test this defense.
And again, the way this third quarter has started for Millbrook, it's not as though Rolesville has earned this drive down inside the red zone. It's been practically donated to them. And now the Rams trying to pay it off. They need it. There's a good pass on a slant to the 5. A good tackle. Touchdown, Rolesville. That's the throw that Caleb Williams has been trying to make. Hits Waddell from the left side slant. And the Rams don't look now. They're back in the game.
And this was set up because of the success they had running the ball in this drive. I talked about continuing to run the ball, but this play action, you get the eyes up on Brown. Looked like it was going to be a running play. Waddell sneaks inside on the slant, and now this crowd is alive. That's how quick this offense can strike. You beat the coverage from the linebacker, and then beautiful throw from Williams.
And that's a throw that's been there a couple of times earlier in the game. Williams was not able to connect. He does here, and all of a sudden, Rolesville has life.
Good job at the halftime break by Rolesville, staying composed and coming out here and winning the first 2 drives, getting the defensive stop, and then your offense executing.
And by the way, happy to see that Riley Daniels is back out on the field. He will attempt the PAT here for Rolesville. He got smashed on the opening kickoff of this second half. Hold is down, and it's knocked through. 7:17 to play third quarter. Life for the Rams, trailing 21-7.
Daniels, such a weapon with his kicking ability and throughout this ballgame. That one of the best. Well, it's true. All these guys are going to have opportunities at the next level. Daniels, one of them, and he's the guy that can flip the field position, and Coach Rackley trusts him in all kicking situations, range beyond 50 yards.
I mean, okay, as we've talked about, we see Coach Rackley talk with Daniels, say, do your job, right? Don't worry about being steamrolled again. Just do your job. When you're talking about teams of this kind of caliber, I'm shocked how Milbrook came out in that second half. I mean, taking down the kicker, a couple of penalties, played it really far too loosely. He basically just handed Rolesville 7 points, giving them momentum, giving them hope that they can come back and win this football game.
And this is where you have to readjust, because Millbrook's come out and, all right, now it's only a 14-point lead, and you cannot allow this momentum to shift even more to the side of the Rams.
And by the way, Bowen is right at midfield. Let's see if he plays loose against Daniel here. Here's the kick, and Bowen now goes after him again, and he's trying to block him downfield as the kick goes into the end zone, and Bowen now is taking some beating on that sideline from Rolesville. Again, 44s who took down Daniels on the previous kickoff to begin the third quarter. And again, he was charging toward Daniels. Daniels made a quick move to avoid him, but then he kind of shattered him toward the sideline.
They're jumping the returner, so this is just their strategy. They're returning it. See, they're returning instead of falling back. They're coming and trying to hit the guys. So that's just them going after to try to slow down this unit running down the field.
And then he had Marquise Bryant, number 6 of Rolesville, come in and take out Bowen from behind. I don't see any penalty markers on the field. So there's Bowen on the sideline. Kick went into the end zone, so it's a touchback. Wildcats will start at the 20. Gray will hand off on first down, and nothing there against the Rolesville suddenly galvanized defense.
Xavion Griffin-Haynes, number 9, is going to make this play. Again, coming from the backside and tracking down McCullers. And so important, the backside blockers, to make sure you at least chip him, because he is hustling down when the ball's run to the opposite side.
No gain. There's Griffin Haynes on the edge. And they throw it toward that vacated spot, but it's tipped and incomplete. And this game is close to being spun on its ear.
Well, this play was designed to allow Griffin Haynes a free rush, but then you just know that you're going to throw quickly to the back. You see, there's the fake, and then Griffin Haynes is allowed to come free. This was designed, but you hope that you can get that pass off, and it opens up the alley for right. With good job, Avery Fleet coming in coverage.
And now even more fans rise with their vuvuzelas and their cowbells. And an illegal substitution going against Millbrook. And, I mean, suddenly, Jay, the body language of the entire sideline for Rolesville and the players in the field,
it's changed.
Completely changed.
They're trying to seize this moment. You had the one touchdown. Here's another big one here where you can get the ball back to your offense.
And now penalty marker down. Third and 10. Looking to throw. They swing it into the flat. And that will be enough for a first down for Milbrook. The second effort by Bryllison McCullers.
And they use the screen. What a job here. Sneaking this in and disguising it. And here it is. Looks like everyone's releasing. And then McCullers gets out of the backfield, and then the yards after the catch. This offense doing a good job just getting that ball beyond the pass rush.
First down, Millbrook. That quiets down the fans temporarily. And a halt to play again. Timeout will be taken. 5:53 to play, third quarter. Game on. Rolesville on the board. Trailing Millbrook 21-7 midway through the third. Hey fans, reminder coming up during the fourth quarter of tonight's ballgame. We will select the Central Carolina Chevy Dealers player of the game. Visit your Central Carolina Chevy dealer today. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sohnhalter, Madison Little down in the field, our great crew. 5:53 left, third quarter. Millbrook kind of allowing Rolesville to get back in this game. It's 21-7. A big third down conversion by the Wildcat offense as this drive continues.
That was huge. Lamar Marshall calling the screen at the perfect time, and boy, they needed it. The momentum was on Rolesville's side, and now a new set of downs. And I think for Milbrook, just go back to the ground, try to chip away here and fall forward, and try to limit this pass rush of the Rams.
So Bryson Gray trying to calm things down here for the Wildcats. Gilchrist in motion. McCullers for a couple.
And I know that's just a simple run, and you're only picking up 3 to 4 yards, but that is huge because this offense staying out on the field. Rolesville's defense is out here. Their offense can't score if they're not out on the field, and again, just sets up for second and medium here, and you're controlling the time of possession. You have a 2-score lead, so this is the way Milbrook wants to play here and just control things, making sure they're moving the ball forward, no penalties and no turnovers.
McCullers one more time, tackled forward, close to the 40.
And just again, another 3 to 4 yards a clip. And it sets yourself up for a third and short.
Cloud of dust, like the old Big Ten. It's a very dry field. We were on it earlier in the game.
And here it is, that O-line. There's Bronner, the big tight end. Cello Chitty, the big athletic tackle leading the way.
I mean, does the area of the field right now look like the second week Wimbledon? Shoot up.
It is.
Very smoky. Third and short for the Wildcats. Tight formation. McCullers one more time. Leans into the pile. That will be close. Mark might be a tad short.
And they put in 3 tight ends. Bronner in and 2 guys from defense coming over. Marquez, Wilbert, and Bowen. Big number 44, Jacob Bowen there. There's Wilbert just clearing out the path just enough, and we'll see where they line it up, and it's going to be short. So this is a big decision. Millbrook's offense, at least initially, going to stay out on the field. We'll see if they try to do a hard count to try to force the Rams to jump offside.
I mean, it's a good 1 yard, and there's an anxious Lamar Marshall. They're going for it. The quick handoff. The second effort gets it.
What a surge.
Stayed between the tackles and had to bounce outside, and Milbrook picks up the first down. That's Marquez Wilbert. We've called him a lot on the defensive line, and he checks in. How about this carry for a huge first down?
He gets it, and that initial surge was from the Rams and just kind of bounced off, kept his feet. And there he falls forward. So difficult to bring down. 6'1", 275, falling forward. And that was a big play in this game. The previous third down conversion on the screen, then going for it on 4th and 1. And now Millbrook's got the ball, new set of downs, and we're sitting here with 3:15 left on the clock.
And Gray tosses out to the right side. And a late penalty marker tossed high to the moon. After that reception was made by Seifert. Eddie Pendergrass has been a busy man in this contest tonight. A Ram walks off the field without his helmet. Now puts it back on as he jogs to the sideline. And now Pendergrass for the call. Another unsportsmanlike offsetting. Second time we've seen that in this contest, Jay. So now just a booking by pen only for Pendergrass. See the officials. They've had so many offsetting penalties and so many 15-yarders. They're now on the writing down the infractions on the other side of their paper in their pocket. Probably in 6-point font.
Yep.
He might need a new pen by the fourth quarter. We won't need to tuck that too far away in his pocket. It's coming out in another 2 or 3 plays probably. And now Pendergrass will walk toward the Rolesville sideline. He wants a word with Rainer Rackley again. Calm conversation now. Are they going to go talk with Lamar Marshall on the other side? I imagine they will. Both officials head across the field. Do you feel like this game is under control, Jay?
I do. I mean, I think as far as the emotion from the players, you expect both sides to be going after each other and, come out and show a little bit of fire on each side. I don't think there's anything that's, out of control or something you don't see in normal rivalry games. I just think right now with these different stoppages, everybody's making sure the coaching staffs are on the same page and making sure with these penalties they know what the coaches want as far as their decisions.
little more animated conversation with Milbrook's head coach Lamar Marshall than it was with Rainier Rackley. And now the officials will get together. It will be 2nd and 6 when we do resume. And now the entire Millbrook team has been called into a huddle, and I'm imagining the same thing will be the case for Rolesville. So this might be a case where Eddie Pendergrass has now said, you know what, that's the last straw. And who knows what the conversation is, but I mean, it could be, next time it happens, there might be different consequences perhaps. But there's a very quick team huddle for the Wildcats. What do you think? Am I misreading it?
No, I just think, for both sides, they want to get back to play.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's set. And,
us too.
Yeah, get it going back. Looks like we're gonna.
All right, here we go.
Next snap.
3:09 left, third quarter. This is 2nd and 6 for Milbrook, up by 14 points. And now we get a penalty. False start on the Milbrook Wildcats. The term choppy in this third quarter would be a severe understatement for the tempo.
Is that the adjective we're using right now? I'm with you.
2nd and 11 now for the Wildcats. And they will keep it on the ground. And now a couple yards short to midfield. That's right for about 4.
And Wright averages over 11 yards per carry. So he's had a lot of success along with McCullers. That tandem in the backfield. And I like how Milbrook here run the ball, use the clock, be able to score lead, just shorten this game down. And you have faith that you've been able to pick up these conversions. You've had success in 3rd and 4th down opportunities.
Need to reach the other 45-yard line. Gray, a little toss. This is right, open space. First down. Oh, he submarines right below what was going to be a decapitating tackle. But fortunately, Wright saw it, stayed low, and almost avoided contact of any kind.
Well, let's start with Gray here. Just staying patient, holding onto the ball, looking downfield long enough to hold off those linebackers. And then Wright snuck around the defensive end. And then look at him here. Fearless, just going underneath the shoulder pad to fall forward. What a play from Gray and Wright.
That was Kalen Johnson for Rolesville, who had Wright in his crosshairs, but just a little bit too low was Wright, avoided contact, and still has all of his teeth.
And going back to that play from Milbrook, the offensive line holding up. Preston, Andrew, Lazaro, Ramsey, and Chitty up there doing their job. That designed throw, just holding up and allowing Wright to get to the outside, giving Gray time.
That's Keontae Sutton dealing with cramps on the field for Rolesville. A reminder, stay tuned later in tonight's game. We will be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. 2:22 left, third quarter, 21-7 Milbrook. The Wildcats charging, and let's go downstairs to Madison, who has an update.
Exactly what this coaching staff just told this defense. Now they said, we need to be gap sound, know where you're supposed to be, know your assignments. And also, guys, number 97, Keontae Sutton for Rolesville, just hobbled off the field. They're looking at his right knee. I will keep you updated on the defensive line. Bye.
And Coach Rackley down on the sideline. With a couple of these guys coming out, he's got such a deep roster, and he's looking for this defense, specifically that front seven, to make a play here. They need to try to get a turnover.
And they keep it on the ground. This is Santonis Wright. Good yardage there, a chunky for 6.
And Wright, such a talented back and underclassman. And here in the pistol formation, there's the misdirection. Gilchrist coming across. Bronner with the tackle on the outside. And Chitty and Avery on those tackles, sealing things up. And then Wright just finds the crease and goes through it. And again, this offense playing at the right pace, using the clock, huddling up here, and just shortening this game up and keeping this Rolesville defense out on the field. This is a hot and humid night. And they're winning the time of possession right now with their running ability.
It was 79 degrees when we kicked off. Humidity was 74%. And now with the play clock winding down, we get a timeout taken by Millbrook. Just 1:24 left third quarter. 21-7 Wildcats lead. I mean, yes, you're right. If we didn't have the issue coming out of the opening kickoff in the third quarter, and then all the consternations by the officials, the discussions with the sidelines, this would be ordinarily a pretty swiftly moving third quarter. This feels like it's been 3 months. But this drive is now taken up about, 5 minutes off the clock here by Milbrook. A couple of third down conversions. And from the Wildcats' perspective, yes, they gave up the touchdown to the Rams. But the Rams have not been able to drive the entire field against the Milbrook defense all night.
And that's got to be the challenge. They're going to have to find a way to do that, but also their defense has to help them out. And here right now, the control for this Millbrook team along the line of scrimmage, they're getting the ground game going and doing a good job of making it manageable situations on third down, and they're just going to continue this game plan, I imagine.
Now it's time for the Affordable Dentures Smile Cam. There we go. Say 15% on most dental treatment plans. Thousands of dollars and more at Affordable Dentures and Implants. Second down for the Wildcats. They keep it on the ground with Antonis Wright, and he is met right around the line of scrimmage. That's Xavier Griffin Haynes, number 9, who's had a big part defensively in this one for Rolesville.
Jordan Thompson as well, and here's Griffin Haynes getting off the block. That initial surge, then Thompson cleaning things up, and that's what they need. Tackles for loss, it sets up a third down, and as a Rams defender, this is your time now to step up. You've got to get off the field.
Under a minute for the third quarter. Third and a long 4. Play clock down to 6, and again, Rolesville is going to have to Milbrook is going to have to burn another timeout. Play clock was down to 4. They were still just breaking the huddle. So Milbrook is now, by our count, out of timeouts with 43 seconds left in the third quarter.
And here for Milbrook, with where you're at as far as your field position, the ball on the 30-yard line. This is a situation where you've got to have the thoughts of, okay, you've got 4 yards here. Is this 2-down territory to pick this up? What's the best play call here? If we are going to go for it on 4th down, what do we want to set it up with here? And I think in this situation, if you can pick up positive yards, your thought here is potentially run the ball, play action pass, something short and quick to try to pick this up and keep this defense off balance.
Yeah, we've seen Gray really effective on this drive, 3rd down and kind of medium range, just some play fakes, little tosses.
So right now for Milbrook, Quentin Cipher is in at tight end along with Hayes Bronner. Over on this left side of the line of scrimmage, McCullers and Wright in the backfield. So watch this right side or potential counter. 2 tight ends in.
Third will call it 5 for Millbrook. There's the hand on McCullers off the left side. Puts that head and shoulders down and gets to about the 25-yard line. That's going to be very close. And it's right at the sticks. They are waving the sticks forward, I believe.
And Patrick, they're running right behind the strength. There's Chitty, number 76, along with Avery leading the way behind Bronner and Cipher, and they're going to get that first down with that tough running from McCullers staying low. There's Chitty, number 76, former basketball player, very athletic, a scholar athlete for Millbrook, leading the way up front.
Did not need a measurement, so it is an Air Experts first down. Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Schedule your tune-up today at airexperts.com.
Millbrook here, they're just going to hold on.
Yeah, they may not need to snap him before the end of the quarter. It's borderline. Gray looks like he wants to take a shot. A handoff to Wright. And Wright will be hemmed in after a couple-yard gain to the right side. And that will draw us to the end of the third quarter. So Millbrook, despite a pretty clunky start to this third quarter, Rolesville on the board, but the Wildcats driving and still in front on the road. 21-7 Wildcats on top of Rolesville. 1 quarter to play from Ram Country.
It was a special weekend for head coach Renier Rackley as he made the trip down to Charleston to watch 2 former players in Braden Atkinson and Gavin Marks play at the college level. They both graduated last season, and Coach Rackley had a tight bond with both of them, but especially Braden. Like a lot of his players, he started coaching them way back in elementary school, so the relationships are deep. And Braden in particular, you could see the level of trust they had in each other. It was evident in the way that Coach Rackley trusted Braden to run this offense. Now he's working to build a similar level of trust with this year's team. And guys, how important will that trust be at this point in the game?
It's huge. In order to have a comeback, you've got to depend and trust on your players. And for Rolesville here, you're down 2 scores. You want to make this drive be stopped, and Coach Rackley right now has to trust that his guys are going to make a play and they can create this comeback. And this is 21-0 at the halftime break. They've cut into that lead, but now this is go time for this Rams team.
Yeah, I'll say this, Bryson Gray, the quarterback for Milbrook, has done a really masterful job of controlling the play clock, the tempo of this game. He is thinking about throwing, flushed out, and then throws it to one of the officials on that left sideline. Had no receiver nearby, and a late flag comes in. This will be grounding on Millbrook.
And the coaching staff for Roseville wanting that flag, and they're going to get it. And this is going to move this out of field goal range, I believe, and force a tough situation and decision here for Millbrook.
I mean, they could have contemplated going for it on 4th down or attempted a field goal. Neither of those will be options now.
You know, back to Coach Rackley and what players Marks and Braden Atkinson were. Gavin Marks, that is, Braden Atkinson in this program. And I know Madison was down at that game calling the game on the sideline for Mercer versus Citadel. So she had a great time seeing Coach Rack, and just shows the love he has for his players and also cares about them off the field and beyond the high school years.
Well, the offensive unit does stay on the field. Ball spotted back at the 35-yard line. This is 4th and 20. Let's see if this is Gray just pooching it on his own. He'll step back. No, he wants it all. He wants Thomas, and the pass goes right through Thomas's hands. Helmet comes off, incomplete. No flags down.
Milbrook wanted it all, being aggressive. They were looking for the big play. And here's a throw from Gray. It looked like he was going to have a chance, giving it up to Malachi Thomas, but it's Darian Newborn, number 4, in coverage. And a good job, just stride for stride, being physical.
Okay, that's a really good throw, and it looked like that left arm might have been held and hooked early. I think untouched, Thomas might catch that ball. That's a great throw by Gray, and I don't think Thomas really had a chance to get extended and put both hands on that. As it is, it's incomplete, and a turnover on downs back to Rolesville.
Well, I think here you got to find ways to get Gavin Waddell the ball. Number 18, your star senior wide receiver, along with Roberts, another guy, had a big catch. First play of the game. Those 2 wide receivers need to be highlighted.
Now can they protect the quarterback? They'll keep it on the ground, 1st down, and maybe a loss of a yard on the carry. Amir Brown. Short side of the field, but just too quick laterally, too big on the defensive line.
The challenge for Rolesville is, can you go, about 65 yards against this defense?
And you'll need to probably do it twice.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be tough chipping away here like Milbrook is doing. I think you've got to have explosive plays, and you have to protect, of course, but you need to go through the air to get something going.
Wildcats coming on the blitz. There's some contact. A flag does sail through, and this will be interference on Milbrook.
There it is. You're taking the chance, and you're going to get the penalty here for the Rams. Going to move down here with the hold on the back end from the Wildcats.
Rajon Bynum, number 4 on the coverage. It's defensive holding, technically against Milbrook. Well, the thing about high school football, and really football of any kind, even if Milbrook gets out of here with a win, I mean, there are pages of notes for Lamar Marshall for his team to clean up based on what we've seen just in this second half alone. And it's not even for the third quarter. And if you're going to win a state championship, there are a lot of punch list items that the Wildcats will need to clean up between now and December. Second and short after the penalty, and that will be enough to move the chains for the Rolesville Rams.
Well, this Rolesville offense getting traction up front, slowing down that rush, and just getting enough. That push up front surging to get the first down.
Arthritis Knee and Pain Center's first down. Arthritis knee pain relief without surgery or opioids. Coming up upon 10 minutes to go in regulation. 21-7 Millbrook. Rolesville closing in on midfield. They screen it out. Tipped. And incomplete.
Well, this was a good thought from Rolesville to try to allow that pass rush through and then sneak behind it. Milbrook, though, as you see Williams gets back there, that's Seifert jumping up, and it looks like he just tipped that ball enough to create the disruption. Oh, no, that's an excellent job by Chase Sizer, number 15. He was the one that tipped it and created the disruption.
Second down. Brown tests the right side. There's just been nothing really there all night long against this formidable front seven for the Wildcats. I mean, can't run right. They've tried left. They stay between the tackles. Just too tough on the interior.
They're trying to get it going with Brown, and there it is. Just the Milbrook defense, once they get off blocks, they're flying over there. And now this is big third down coming up for the Rams offense.
They need about 7. Williams, and that got tipped as well. All right, Jay, 9:28 left. It's 4th down. You're down 2 scores. You could punt it away, but then risk Milbrook. Work down the clock. Turn up some yards. You need 2 possessions. Are you going or are you kicking here?
Well, I think right now the Rolesville's game plan is to stay out here on the field. Now it looks like they're going to punt it. Yeah, and I agree with this. Well, it looks like they may be switching their minds here.
I mean, Riley Daniels went about 5 yards onto the field. He's now called back. And Williams is going to keep the offense out there.
Okay, here for 4th down.
I mean, this is such a big play.
Yeah,
there's been confusion. I'm surprised they're not calling a timeout to really set up the play they want. They snap it. 4th down. And it's caught. Forward progress will probably be enough. And it will. First down. That is a clutch pass and catch. Gavin Waddell.
Well, love the confidence and the mindset from Rainier Rackley, believing in his team, and this is a spot you had to have it. And Madison discussed his trust in his players. That's trust with the offensive line. Caleb Williams to make the throw, and then your senior star wide receiver to make a play.
Yeah, that's football IQ right there by Waddell, getting exactly where he needed to go. And now it's some open space for one of the few times tonight. That's the keeper by Williams. Diving head first inside the 35. There will be another first down for Rolesville.
And here it is, crossing over from the right side to the left side. And a big play as this offense and Williams moves forward.
And a Wildcat player is down, will step aside. 8:54 left, 4th quarter. Rolesville down 14, but on the move. All right, let's check out the Stars and Strikes game summary for the 3rd quarter. Get away and play at Stars and Strikes in Raleigh, located on Capitol Boulevard.
All right, 105 yards to 159 yards. This has been a defensive game. Patrick, both defenses standing up, 1 turnover on each side of those penalties. That's something each side is going to have to look to clean up here later on the ball game. But this has been a physical game, and here we are in the 4th quarter with the Rams driving.
And down 21-7, new set of downs. Now they hand it off on the reverse, but staying home was Chase Sizer for Milbrook. They read that one well. They're trying to put it in the hands of Waddell, their playmaker.
I like the play call there with the misdirection. This is just Sizer, who called his name a couple times on this drive. in position along with Quentin Cipher. But Sizer, one of those athletic linebackers, so fast, heady, in the right position.
Yeah, Cipher did a good job, put up a little human speed bump right there, slowed the play down. No gain. Full complement of timeouts for Rolesville. But they need 2 scores. Pressure coming. Little stumble by Williams, and again he will heave it into the Millbrook sideline.
There's a pass rush again, getting home on Williams. And Patrick, I want to go back to that 4th down decision by Rainier Rackley. Should they have punted it or should they have gone for it? And initially it looked like they were going to bring the punting unit out, but that's where Rainier Rackley has confidence and knows the pulse of his team and also knows, hey, I've got to show them belief because we need a play.
Yeah.
And punting, could punt them back, but I agree with that play call with him going for it and his team executed, and that was the right call there to be aggressive.
I also don't think he feels like they were going to get the football back twice.
Yeah.
And if they did, could they go 60, 70 yards if necessary twice? They haven't done it once yet tonight.
Well, and he made the right decision there because he was putting the responsibility on them to make a play, and he believed and showed that to his team. But he said, hey, listen, if we're going to make it happen, it's on us to create that opportunity.
That offsides penalty on Milbrook. Third down. Showing blitz, the Wildcats, they play off. Solid hit, but close to a first down again, down around the 23. That's Amir Brown. And to Brown's credit, he's played much more poised here in the last 8 or 9 minutes. It'll be 4th down, though. He didn't quite get it. 4th and less than a yard. So here's the game for the Rams if they want to give themselves a chance to come back. Must convert. Handoff. Oh, blown up in the backfield. And Milbrook with Rashid Streets. Fired in on 4th and 1. Made the stick. And takes the heart right out of the chest of the Rams.
Rashad Streets, 6'4", 240. He runs like a wide receiver, the defensive end. The first one and back in the backfield to make the play. Cairo Williams back there as well. Quentin Cipher, and there you see the emotion from the #1 junior in the state. That defensive line taking over Quentin Cipher, the #1 linebacker, right in the middle of this defense, stepping up on that 4th down.
And that's what it looks like when you're calling on a guy to make a play. Sidestep the blocker and blew it up in the backfield on 4th down. Milbrook takes over. 7:28 left in the 4th. Still up 14. Gilchrist in motion. Jet sweep. Gilchrist with room. He got bumped down off the play after a pickup of about 11. And that'll be a first down for the Wildcats.
Lamar Marshall here on the plays and having trust in this running game throughout. I mean, he's shown it that he has relied on that offensive line, the running backs, Gray, primarily to move the ball. He's mixing the play action pass, but this is a group that's played very well and controlled the time of possession.
And now we'll watch the game and clock management by Bryson Gray, the quarterback for Milbrook. Play clock just under 10 now. And on first down, it'll be McCullers for about 3.
And for Lamar Marshall, a former star running back, and same position as Rainier Rackley. Both these guys started at the college level and played pro as well. And this is a game that they know very well, playing that position and mentoring these backs. And right now, Milbrook continuing to shorten this game, taking their time.
6.5 to go. No reason to rush for Gray and the Wildcats.
Milbrook, again, keeping the ball on the ground. And just making sure they're securing it. And here they are. And again, right now, whether it's been the powers, the counters, the sweeps, mixing an array of runs, try to keep this defense off balance.
Third down at about 6 for Milbrook. Low snap. Gray across the middle, and the flag comes in. The catch was made anyway by Gilchrist. I don't think this penalty is going on the defense anyway. Eddie Pendergrass with the call. Face mask against Rolesville.
Gray just giving himself time. There's like a quick nudge there. Yeah, it is. Good call. Yep. Good call.
So the 45 clock continues to roll, approaching 5.5. Play clock still at 15. And they snap it now. Gray throws deep down the left side. He has Martin. Martin in the clear. There he goes. Touchdown. From 45 yards out, Bryson Gray hooks up with Taden Martin. And that's the dagger for the Wildcats here in Rolesville.
Tatum Martin's speed just taking over here. This was set up because of the running ability. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Boom. Throw the ball over the top, and a good job from Gray selling it there, the misdirection, and then Martin taking off right down the field. And this offense really doing a good job running the ball, then using the pass at the right time tonight.
Third touchdown reception this year for Martin. And Millbrook has just quelled any thoughts that the Rams had of stealing this one in the fourth quarter. 28-7 Millbrook. A 45-yard strike to Taden Martin. Millbrook by 3 scores with 5 minutes to play. Millbrook on top of Rolesville, 28-7. 5 minutes left, fourth quarter. Now let's take a look at tonight's school bus stop of the game.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
So here's the game for the Rams if they want to give themselves a chance to come back. Must convert. Handoff. Oh, blown up in the backfield. And Millbrook with Rashid Streets. Fired in on 4th and 1. Made the stick. And takes the heart right out of the chest of the Rams.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
And that was a huge one from Rashad Streets, surging. Get that Millbrook defense off the field and give the ball back to their offense.
Millbrook will kick it off. One more legacy construction and roofing kickoff. Always here when you need us. Touchback. Rams football, 3 timeouts, but now 21 points down with 5:08 to play.
And Lamar Marshall's game plan coming in here was stop the run and run the ball in. So far, that recipe has been successful for Millbrook. They've controlled things on the ground when they've been on offense and on defense. Whether it's that pass rush, getting after the quarterback, or the running game, they've been able to limit the opportunities and just create disruption for the Rams offense.
This will be the hurry-up approach here for the Rams the rest of the way. Short pass into the flat. This is not going to get it done. Picks up maybe a yard. And a Wildcat player is down. Seen a couple of players cramp up over the last few minutes. And now a penalty marker is tossed in as well. This will be unsportsmanlike on the Rams. There's Waddell walking away with his helmet. I mean, he's certainly dejected with the performance of the Rams writ large here tonight. And Waddell is going straight to the sideline. And they're treating that Milbrook player with cramps in that leg. Let's go downstairs. Madison has more on the color of this game. Madison?
Well, Jay, you mentioned the run game, and both head coaches played running back at the collegiate level. Rainier Rackley was at Elizabeth City State University. He was a standout player that went on to play 4 seasons of arena ball. And Lamar Marshall, well, he played at Duke in the late 90s, just up the road. His best season, 1995, 800 yards and 13 touchdown. Guys, they know all about that run game.
Who's that Virginia player trying to tackle him right there?
He's got no shot.
Love those Duke helmets with the black script.
I'll tell you what, talking with both coaches and as you've gotten to know them through the years, these are guys that were outstanding athletes and said, hey, you guys look like you could still run for 100 a day. They were great players, and they've transitioned into coaching but still stay in great shape.
I mean, the pictures we just saw of Rackley, he doesn't look like he's aged more than a month from those college pictures of his running back days.
They were both studs, and Lamar Marshall's son plays running back at Winston-Salem State, Noah, and there's Coach Rackley kind of getting the message here from the officials. But these relationships these coaches have between all the players, so important and special, but especially when you play that position the way Coach Rackley did and Coach Marshall, there's that extra knowledge, that tutelage that they bring to that position that is so important because they've walked in those shoes of the backs they coach.
Yeah. I just have a hunch what's going on right now as Coach Rackley is talking with 3 of the 5 officials. Remember earlier in the second half, we saw the entire Millbrook team called by their head coach to a big huddle after some admonishments, after some conversations with Eddie Pendergrass and both head coaches, after another unsportsmanlike that was offset. I kind of get the sense now that they have now gone over the other edge of the mountain and said, there's another one, and we told them what we were planning on doing. Let's see if there are any more, not penalties, but if there's any more personnel issues here with Rolesville. Doesn't appear to be. But the penalty is going to spot the football back around the 10-yard line. And I think right now, Rainier Rackley is just kind of at a loss. At a loss of the team that he's seen on the field most of the night tonight. I'm sure both coaches are at a loss for, I mean, you understand the feistiness and the fierceness of the rivalry, but I don't think we had a chance to see either team anywhere close to their best here today because there's just been so much other stuff happening in between, no chance to really get in any kind of game flow. And here's another penalty.
I think for both teams, too, so this is the 5th game they've played, and obviously this is a big test, a lot on the line tonight, and also an opportunity just to get better. And the talent's evident, but there is still, with every team, chances to highlight improvement and things to focus on the next week in practice.
And we mentioned the heat and the humidity. This is around the 6th or 7th player we've seen go down, although they're not treating this, at least initially, as a cramp. They're feeling around that right ankle, right knee area of one of the Rams down the field. So the athletic training staff will come out and have a look. Jada, does a game like this make it difficult for the college coaches who are all here to evaluate what they are seeing and how that might translate to the major Power 4 level?
Well, I think when they watch these guys, they recognize who it just jumps out at you. But also, too, you've known these guys in camps and past film, and I think when they're out here watching, it's more for them to support these players and have their presence known. But I mean, of course, they're wanting to see where they stack up going against top flight competition.
All right, as they help that Ram to his feet, let's get to our Central Carolina Chevy Dealers player of the game, Quentin Cipher for the Millbrook Wildcats.
2 touchdowns tonight, one coming on offense as a tight end. First touchdown of the game, Cipher caught the play action pass, and then on the defensive side, Rashad Streets creates the havoc. There's the fumble, and then Cipher, number 2, picks it up and very quickly gets his 2nd touchdown of the game. What a night for Quentin Cipher.
I think Marquez Wilbert's looking for an assist on that fumble recovery for a touchdown for Cipher.
Wilbert's part of it, too. I mean, multiple guys making plays. But the junior, one of the best in the country,
Now there is your Central Carolina Chevy Dealers player of the game. Visit your Central Carolina Chevy Dealers today. 28-7 Millbrook on top. 4:46 remaining. Second down and 15 here for the Rams. And another set of penalties come flying in. And this one will be marked off against Rolesville. They swing it out. Room up the left, beyond the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Clock will continue to tick down. Henry Evans on the reception.
This was a nice pass from Williams. It was a tough one with Evans leaking out from his tight end position and catching it on the run, then turning upfield. And this is a versatile tight end group with McHugh and Evans for Rolesville. And overall, this is an offense that can play big with tight ends. They can go out wide with 5 wide receivers. They can play with multiple backs. So they're a group that's explosive. It's just been this Milbrook defense that's made it difficult tonight.
The Wildcats rush 4. They pass it out to the sideline. Forward progress likely enough for a first down, and it will be. So Rolesville will advance the chains. Sean Nesbitt, the reception there, and a first down for the Rams.
Rolesville still fighting, protecting up front for Williams. He's trying to chip away here. And I'll tell you what, tonight everybody wanted to see the result of this game. And Milbrook in the driver's seat here to finish it off. But I would expect and would not be surprised at all if these two teams face off again in the playoffs.
And that one overshot second down. Waddell is on the sideline, helmet off. Sitting on top of one of the aluminum benches near the 40-yard line, so his night is done. So a chance to rotate some second-string receivers, get them some quality time here in the final 4 or 5 minutes of this one.
For Rolesville, they'll have Broughton next week.
I was just looking at that, yep.
So an opportunity to kind of fix some of the things you see on film and some of those mistakes, clean up the penalties, and just regroup, adjust, and get ready for another league game next week.
And perhaps the best of the rest is waiting for Milbrook next week. Back at home in Raleigh, they take on Leesville Road. You've been able to scout that team a little bit. What do you think?
Another strong test, and with Milbrook, Rolesville tonight, then another team that's projected to finish very high in the 8A with Leesville. So Milbrook will have to come back and lock back in for a tough game with the Pride. And same thing with Rolesville. They'll have to readjust and get ready for the Capitals. These league games are so huge, especially once you get into October.
3rd and 10. And the receiver shoved into the Rolesville sideline. A penalty marker does come in. I mean, the intended receiver went a few yards down the field and has got rubbed into the sideline as that ball sailed 15 yards further downfield. Well, Jay, when we came into this game, we're effectively handicapping Milbrook. 4 one-sided wins over the first 4 weeks of the year, including the win over Athens Drive last week. You didn't quite know what to take. You knew there's a ton of talent on this Milbrook team, especially defensively. Now that you've seen them play and take on a team that was a state runner-up last year with the Rolesville Rams, albeit a different roster this year, what's your takeaway as far as Milbrook now through week 5 at 5-0 and 2-0 in league play?
They're a team that's talented enough and so well coached that they can win the state championship. I've been so impressed by their effort tonight coming in on the road, and they steamrolled through their schedule. I mean, just dominated. And here tonight they've done a great job of being physical and just really taking control of this game in the second quarter. And again, you see the ability to get after the quarterback, stop the run. Their defense is tough. And then on offense, the game plan of running the ball, just chipping away at it and winning the line of scrimmage, it's worked so well. They've mixed in the play action pass, and everything
here has worked tonight, and they're going to gain a lot of confidence from this game.
What do you think of the play of Bryson Gray?
I think he's a quarterback that has a lot of talent, and when he throws the ball, he's got the ability to hit his wide receivers. This is a talented group out front, and Lamar Marshall has a lot of faith in him leading this offense. Only a junior, and just continue to get better, has good size, and he can be a difference maker. Tonight the game plan was run the ball, but I would expect him to continue to have big games through the air.
3:12 to go, fourth quarter, third down and under a yard. Rolesville trailing 28-7.
You know, I'll tell you on the other side, tonight isn't going to be the result the Rams want. But when you look at them, this is a group that has the talent and the pedigree to win a state championship too. It's just going to be, all right, how do we go from this point forward? How do we correct our mistakes? How do we get better? And this is a litmus test for both teams.
How about Quentin Cypher? He's still out there playing.
Yeah.
That's a 3rd and inches, and look at the leverage he gets in the backfield, and look at the drive straight back. They lost about a yard on 3rd and inches. It's now 4th and a good one.
And he's played both ways tonight.
And he isn't cramped.
No, he's flying around.
Yeah. 4 down, and Rolesville is going to send the punt team on. So Riley Daniels is now on to kick it away. 2.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Gilchrist will return it. Makes one miss. Makes a second miss. Up the right side with the cavalry. Gilchrist to the 40. And soft shoes hit out of bounds around the 35-yard line. One last bit of pushing and shoving. Inconsequential. Flag is down, though, way back at the 30-yard line. And this return's coming back. So this will be a hold or an illegal block. So the big return negated. And here's a look. .201 left. I've lost track of how many penalties tonight, Jay. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even with certainty say how many dozen penalties we've seen.
I'm with you.
3? I think it's in that 3 dozen range.
Oh, yeah.
3 dozen.
Yeah, we're around that.
I mean, I need a plus or minus 12 right now to give it a good guess. So from the 20, Millbrook. Rolesville does have 3 timeouts, but the fact that they just punted on 4 down, I'd be shocked if they use any of them. Here's Gilchrist swinging around the left for maybe 1. And I'll be the most surprised person in this stadium if Rolesville takes the timeout. And they will not.
And we were just discussing about the talent of both teams. And, again, these teams would not be surprised if they play again deep in the playoffs. And coming to this game in the 8A, the 2 top teams in the East, in my eyes, and right now Milbrook's going to come away with a huge win, but Rolesville will be back, and these coaches are going to look at this film, and the message will be, hey, this was round 1. We may see them again, but it's all about getting better. Win or lose this game, it's all about getting better and reaching your full potential each week and playing your best football in December, because that's where both these sides expect to play, in December.
I would really like to watch these teams play again. But I would really like to watch these teams play a clean game against one another, because I don't think this game really did either team a lot of justice in terms of just the aesthetics of how this game was played. Because I think there's so many high-level players, I think it'd be our pleasure to watch them play at their max ability with all the extra stuff we saw tonight. Because it kind of leaves me wanting more. Like, what's my takeaway? This game was a mess tonight on both sides. I mean, clearly Milbrook was the better team tonight, no question about it. Rolesville had chances to keep momentum early in that first quarter. They botched a couple of snaps, a couple of ill-timed penalties, and just unable to recover. They did get on the board in that third quarter about midway, but this was a no contest from about the 8-minute mark of the first quarter until the final gun. So 19 seconds left. And Rolesville now brought over to the sidelines as they do take a timeout ahead of this fourth down play. Now, if I'm in the huddle right here with Rainer Rackley, he might just be telling his team, listen, don't do anything silly after this last play, because we've seen a lot of silliness from an hour before the game through the game. I think you want to make sure that nothing ridiculous happens after this last snap. And the entire Milbrook team is now over on the sideline as well in a huddle. But we will have one more snap to go. You think that's what the conversation is?
No, I think both sides making sure they finish this game off the right way. And I think each coach is talking to their team about that. And get this last play in and then make sure they close it out the right way.
All right, let's see if they listen. They're high school kids, Dave. But that's good coaching on both sides. Right? There's so much to play for down the road. This is a regular season game. Yes, it might dictate who wins the conference seeding for the playoffs. Yes, all byproducts of what we're seeing tonight. But as you mentioned, these teams could very well meet again deep. I mean, deep.
I'd expect them to, yeah.
I mean, this could be, a regional semifinal, perhaps?
Depending on seeds, yeah. I mean, I would expect them to meet again.
All right, so this is fourth down. Milbrook is lined up to pooch kick it. And frankly, I'd be surprised if anybody on either line moves after the snap. And we might see 10 mannequins along the line of scrimmage here. And one more sub onto the field for Milbrook. And that's their new snapper. So Milbrook will move to 5-0. 2-0 in conference play. Rolesville will drop to 2-3. They'll fall to 1-1. Rolesville will host Broughton next week. Millbrook goes back home and takes on Leesville Road. There's the snap. Token pressure. And everything appears to be clean and orderly. And we'll have one more snap here with 11 seconds to go. That Rams coaching staff will get back to work. They may not even wait until tomorrow. They might be watching some of this tape tonight. It might be tough for the Rams coaching staff to sleep, because they know this team is far better than what we saw tonight.
It's a group that's going to respond, and they'll take the motivation from this game and the learnings to get better. And this is an excellent staff led by Rainier Rackley, and they'll use this game for good. And again, this is tests. It's all about seeing where you're at, seeing how you can improve and where you stack up, and they'll learn from this ball game. And on the other side, Milbrook came here on the road and learned a lot about their team and just the way they played on both sides of the ball, and how they won this game was their game plan coming in. Winning, running the ball, stopping the run, and a certain style that they wanted to play with tonight, they were able to execute with.
All right, so the game's final snap. And that is it. And for the first time in 4 years, and this is good sportsmanship, we now see some hugs and some high fives across enemy lines. The Millbrook Wildcats, for the first time in 4 years, have beaten Rolesville. And they do it convincingly tonight on the road. It is a final. Millbrook moves to 5-0, 28-7 win over Rolesville.
Well, Lamar Marshall and his team came in here and played great tonight to get this win, and there's the respect from Coach Rackley and Coach Marshall there, shaking hands, the team's coming together. But this is a group, so much talent on the field tonight, and again, expect to see each of these teams deep in the playoffs once again.
And I think this handshake line is also part of that last time out we saw. As they come through the handshake line, it is very orderly. in Rolesville. Tonight belongs to the Wildcats. They're 5-0 as they take down last season's state runner-up Rolesville 28-7. Trophy presentation and an interview with the Millbrook head coach Lamar Marshall when we return to Rolesville. Wildcats win it 28-7. The final. Milbrook over Rolesville. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sohnhalter up here in the booth. We'll go down to Madison coming up in a moment. What did you learn tonight, Jay?
Well, the first thing is high school football is the best. This was a fun atmosphere tonight and pregame. Everybody getting here early to watch this game, and tell you, so many great players, the coaches, everybody on display. And right now this is a game that we'll see how it turns out for both teams later on in the year.
All right, Madison is downstairs with Lamar Marshall and the Milbrook Wildcats.
All right, Coach, coming into this game, the pass rush was a priority. How do you evaluate your defense tonight?
We're a championship defense. I think we took a big stride in that direction tonight. It wasn't just the pass rush, but stopping their ground game, which is very prolific. Just proud of those guys. They set the tone for the entire team. And the offense and special teams made just enough plays.
And now 5-0 heading into the rest of the season. How does this one set the tone for the second half?
We control our own destiny in the conference. So we're 2-0 in the league. We got 4 more regular season games. We got another big game against week for homecoming. So our kids will enjoy it this weekend. As coaches, we got to climb back on that mountain in preparation this weekend for another really good team.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations. Go enjoy your guys.
All right, thank you.
Well, and he said it there. I mean, I'll tell you what, the recipe tonight was that defense run the ball, and it results in a huge win. And you see the Wildcats celebrating the hard work they put in paid off tonight. This was a big victory on the road over Rolesville.
All right, first win over Rolesville since 2021. The Milbrook Wildcats 5-0 and state title aspirations at the midway mark of the high school season. Well, that's going to wrap things up. All of us would like to take a minute to thank all the great folks at Riddle & Riddle, the University of North Carolina, Affordable Dentures, and Tatum and Atkinson, who make all these games possible for all of our viewers at home. We'd also like to take a minute to thank all of our other great supporters for their contributions to our Friday Night Rivals telecast. Arthritis Knee Pain Centers, Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Chevy Dealers of the Carolinas, Saltwater Seafood and Fry Shack, Crossroads Ford, Legacy Construction and Roofing, and the NCDHHS. And we'd also like to thank everybody at these participating high schools and their administrators, Millbrook Magnet High School, and our hosts here at Rollesville High. Next Friday, Jay, Madison, and I will be with the Sanderson Spartans taking on Middle Creek. That is next Friday as we continue our Friday Night Rivals package. For Jay, from Madison, our entire crew, Patrick Keenis saying so long from Rolesville, where the Wildcats remain undefeated. They vanquish Rolesville on the road 28-7. Good night from Rolesville.
Ever since my boots first hit these streets, had to scratch and claw.